Oh, hey bitch. Oh, excuse you. Baloney wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry in. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey y'all, welcome and happy Friday. It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. A show we basically get into talking about all things going on in celebrity news, entertainment, hot topics, you name it. That whatever's trending in these good old streets, we talk about it on this show. So before we get started, if you can please do me a solid, hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also be sure to smash the notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And so we got a lot of tea to get into today. We got to talk about the news came out regarding the cause of death for Quincy Jones. We have our new Oscars host, 97th annual. We also have a new Laura Croft that's been cast in for the upcoming Amazon TV series. We got to talk some Diddy news. Especially in regards of, Stevie J recently did an interview also that one that came up on Tubi. He was speaking out and was basically, it seemed like you was trying to go hard for your friend and all the other stuff. Child, I'm side-eyeing the whole thing, but we'll talk about it. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, Suge Knight is basically saying that the Diddler SA'd Justin Bieber and Usher. We have clips and we're going to talk about it. Plus, the reality reckoning has begun. Leah McSweeney has faced off in court against Andy Cohen's lawyers. That was yesterday. Also, we're going to talk about that Tamron Hall interview with Kenya Moore, where she finally admitted that she did show some inappropriate photos at the situation, which caused her to lose her damn job. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, rumors are swirling that Kim Zolciak is hunching Chet Hanks. He better run away from that old tight-ass nasty cooch. Kim Kardashian, congratulations, sis. You're a baby mama. Because she out here talking about how she's been raising 4 them babies by herself while Kanye is off doing what he doing with his little mail order whore. Bianca Sensori over there, wherever the hell he live, allegedly Japan. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, Jennifer Lopez, she performed last night at the Elie Saab show in Saudi Arabia. But look good. We're going to talk about it. Plus, we got to talk about Lil Nas X new single, and finally somebody opened his camp. Listen to me. Y'all need to pay me a fee, Chad, because exactly what he did with that song and everything I said he should have been doing, and he did it. I'm waiting for my cut in the mail. My residual payment, my percentage. Also, we got to talk about Jaleel White, basically talking about how he turned down a Family Matters reboot. We got to talk about Lala Ree quitting drag. Also, I heard that LeGrand Dom quit drag too. Girl, what is happening to the drag race girls? They all just like quitting. So we got to talk about that. Plus, we got to talk about J.K. Rowling, because the people out here saying that, well, the people over at HBO are saying that her trans views have not had any impact on them in regards of casting and putting this new Harry Potter TV series together that's coming to HBO. So we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. Whatever comes out in breaking news, y'all know what to do. Slip it over here in the show, and I'll look it up, and we'll probably break it here as a class and talk about it. But as I said earlier, if you can, please hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also, be sure to smash that notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Let me hit my banner. I did see as I was putting the and this is why I was late, because I was busy doing other things. I was waiting for my food to come, which came around literally 4 o'clock, and I had not did my banners yet. So he came at like 4:05, so I literally have 5 minutes trying to put all the banners and stuff together for today's show because I was busy. I didn't, as soon as I got home yesterday from the Rangers game, I was not in the mood to do any late work or whatever. I was just like, I just want to detox, as in like relax, and I just threw on a little television. I started watching that Zack Snyder animated series over on Netflix. I like watched that and then a couple of other things. Oh, and I was watching T.S. Madison because, child, this mess came out between her and Oliver Twist getting mad that he wasn't included on Beyonce's Cozy, and I'm like, sir, you edited her vocals on that situation. Beyonce's not gonna give you a credit for your writing for editing. She's gonna give it to T.S. Madison because she used her likeness on the song. So I don't know why this heifer thought, And then some drama came out with some lady that T.S. Madison, I guess, was attached to that was stealing people's money and all this other stuff. It was a hot ass mess. So I got caught up in that. And then I just went to sleep. can I tell you, I don't know what's going on with Dragula. I don't know if Dragula is boring or maybe it's just I'm tired, but I literally had to watch this recent episode 3 times and I still didn't know who got exterminated because I've fallen asleep every time I put it on. But I did manage to watch because, YouTube just put up clips of the show, like from the past week. So I was watching that stuff. So I watched when Jaharia and old girl got the tattoo of the ugly little troll. So I did watch that part. But other than that, I was just like, I keep falling asleep on the show. I don't know. Maybe it's just I just be exhausted. My social battery just be worn out by the time I get home. So yeah, I was just doing all of that, but I didn't feel like working yesterday. I didn't feel like putting those celebrity news, hot topics, all that other stuff together. So I worked on that this morning, and then by the time I'm like looking, damn, half the day done went. And then I'm putting the show together. So literally, that's why I was late with today's show because I was busy putting together the thumbnails and stuff for the show. Well, the lower thirds that you see come up throughout the show. I was like, what happened? The other day we had this different background, and now we back to the blue. I'm gonna have to look into how we could change it back to the gray because I actually like the gray background, the layout. Yeah, next time I'm gonna start playing around with that in the next show. But anyway, let me look at the comments. I ain't got time to be playing around with that right now. Onyx, I did see your post as I was putting the show together. You did type this in, the whole Lala Ree quit drag situation. The funny part was that wasn't even part of the docket. And then when I saw that, I was like, well, actually, I saw it, but I was like, is that really interesting to talk about? So I was like, you know what? Let me just add it. But yeah, we're gonna talk about the Entertainment Weekly interview because I thought about either using that one or the Pink News one. And so I was like, let me just use Entertainment Weekly because if they got the exclusive, why not just use it from them? Oh yeah, I did hear that Girls Aloud dropped a song and they said, well, yeah, I forgot about Crazy Sexy Cool's 30th anniversary. Child, I hate these anniversaries because it makes me feel old. I was literally in high school when Crazy Sexy Cool so I feel old. Shit. And they said Gwen Stefani. Oh yeah, I forgot that Gwen Stefani's album came out this week. Wait, whatever happened to Rachel Stevens? I used to like Rachel Stevens back in the day. Her album, what was it called? Come and Get It? Or was that what's his name? Aaron Carter. She had one album that came out that I was absolutely obsessed with, but it's been so long I have not heard. I haven't really listened. Let me look it up because no, not Rachel Zegler. I don't care about that girl. Because I heard the MAGAs coming after her. She looked good though. Oh, and I'm looking forward to seeing that movie that was done by what is it with Robbie Williams? That where he playing a monkey that's based on his life. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Child, why is her? Oh yeah, I forgot she was in S Club 7, and she 46. All right, daughter. I don't care about her net worth. What is her album? Because I can't remember coming. Oh, it was Come and Get It. I was like, I wasn't sure if that was the name, but yeah, it was Come and Get It. First of all, I used to run that album into the damn ground. I was like, okay, this is the good pop music. Because I was like, wait, is it called Come and Get It? It was like, yeah, but that was like the only album of hers I like. I didn't particularly care for Funky Dory. I didn't care for when she, all the other stuff. She only came out with 2 albums, I believe. And then she did the S Club 7 stuff, which was too many of their asses up in there, but I get it. S Club 7, it was like 7 of them. I was like, how they divide that money? But yeah, so you said the Andrea True connections more, which is typically, I mean, lyrically about a porn star. The director wants her to do more, and Andrea True was a corn star in the golden era of corn. We got a lot of corn up in here, Chad. Oh yeah, it's on streaming. Oh yeah, I had the album as part of my what is it, Apple Music. So yeah, but it's been a minute since I actually listened to that record. So maybe I need to give it again because that was a good album. Then she kind of just disappeared. I think there was a thesis on as to why she did leave the music business, but I retained so much information. I just like it out of sight, out of mind, and I moved on. So I don't remember exactly the reason, but I have to rejudge my brain to find out. But anyway, let's get into the show and let's talk about Quincy Jones. who apparently they said died of pancreatic cancer. Damn, everybody's getting cancer out here in these streets. So, it is imperative that many people, get checked, get tested, do what you got to do to maintain, your health and all that good stuff. But he lived a good life. He was 91. So, according to Rolling Stone, it says a cause of death was not revealed at the time, and it does not seem that it was publicly known that Jones was battling cancer. Per the death certificate, there was no other contributing factors to his death. A rep for Jones and his family did not immediately return Rolling Stone's request for comment. It said that Jones was laid to rest at a private ceremony in LA a week after his death, with only his 7 children, brother, 2 sisters, and other immediate family members in attendance. In a statement, the family said that they were enormously grateful for the outpouring of condolences and tributes from his friends and fans from around the world. They also said a memorial celebration of Mr. Jones' life will be announced at a later date. And I actually think that that's pretty cool that they did it that way, because I feel like that's the way I would want it. When my day comes, when I close my eyes, I don't know if I want to be buried or cremated. I haven't come to that decision yet. I'm sure I will. I mean, majority of my family members, like I know my grandfather is going to be laid to rest next to my grandmother when he passes. He already got his plot and everything, you know, pretty much situated because we went and visited it. I think like last year, maybe 2 years ago. I can't remember off the top of my head. And then when we were there, because it's in Pine Lawn out in Long Island, and my parents have their plot and everything situated because my father had to go in around the same time. They wanted to rejudge everything, make sure everything was copacetic. And back when they got it 20 some odd years ago, it was a lot cheaper. But I know that the stuff has increased since then. And so then we was out here looking to see where my parents was going to be buried. And then my sister has a spot out there. I don't have one. I have been thinking like that. I'm thinking I'm going to be immortal. I'm living forever. So, that is something I need to look into. My grandfather was telling me, he was like, there is a spot that they have. Like if I wanted to buy the spot that I could. So I am kind of thinking about it, maybe somewhat. But I'm like, child, cremate me and just spread me around like a gay club or something. or something like that. I was like, yeah, spread me around there or throw my ass in the ocean. I don't care. That's what we did to my goddaughter's mother. And we went down to Jones Beach and we took her ashes and we just spread them out in the water. We was hoping and praying nobody was going to notice. I was like, would it be a bad thing if you could spread your ashes? But I'm sure we're not the first nor the last to do something like that. So, um, with that being said, wait, let me not mess around with this because I'm just like playing around with the banners. And anyway, so I was thinking about that or whatever the case is. So yeah, it was like, so my parents and all that got situated. And what I would want in my situation when I leave this earth is like close people, the people that are the closest to me to attend. And then we can have like a big celebration because I don't look at funerals as something that should be something that, oh, we're so sad. Oh, I want you to boo-hoo. Like I think down in New Orleans, they do like big celebrations, like a homegoing type of situation where it's a celebration of the person's life. It shouldn't be like a sadness. It's just like they're transitioning to a higher situation, whatever situation that is. I'd probably say like situation 20 damn times in this story. But nevertheless, whatever. At least I didn't say amazing, like a lot of you hoes do. So they said Jones enjoyed a wildly successful, influential 7-decade career as a producer, composer, and arranger. He worked with, he's done everything from 60s bubblegum pop to film scores and has collaborated with people such as Frank Sinatra, Aretha Franklin, Michael Jackson, and Ray Charles, a bunch of people. A lot of people paid tributes to him as well, including Celine Dion, Jamie Foxx, Stevie Wonder, Paul McCartney, and The Weeknd. And he has his daughter. I think only one of them is like the most famous one that we would know, and that would be Rashida. And speaking of his kid, she paid tribute to her father and stuff. Basically called him a giant, an icon, and a culture shifter, and that's what he was. And we ain't gonna deny the impact that Quincy Jones has had on not only music but the film scoring industry as well. And kudos to him. This is the part where I wish I was one of Quincy kids. Because this man done left each of his 7 children $83 million. And then you already know, based off the estate, when people want to license the music that he actually has produced and stuff over there, if any of his kids come to a conclusion of them wanting to license out their father's music via whoever runs the estate, you already know what's going to happen with that. They'll make money off the back end of that as well. So them kids are set for life. Rashida will never have to work. But the good thing I like about her is that, even though she is an actress, that she carved out her own thing, even though she is the daughter of Quincy Jones. But she said, like, she don't even have to do any kind of movies or acting or whatever. But I'm sure that that's just something that she loves to do. So that she's going to do it anyway. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are regarding Quincy, let me know in the comments down below. Now, moving on to our next topic, Conan O'Brien has been tapped to host the Oscars. Now, before we didn't have an Oscars host, we heard that a lot of people were being approached. A lot of people didn't want to do it, and within good reason, because doing the Oscars is a thankless job. And a lot of times when people do jump on the Oscar bandwagon, a lot of people end up hating. A lot of people have an issue with hosting the Oscars or whatever the case is. And my thing is like, okay, I'm just here to set the mood, to keep things going. I want to tell jokes, but everybody's too damn sensitive. Hopefully we're moving out of the whole sensitive times and people can learn to laugh at themselves, especially if you're going to be at the Oscars. Like, it's not that damn serious. It's basically a 3+ hour show. We all sitting here just kissing each other's ass and pat each other on the back for a job well done in the past year. So it's not like y'all curing cancer. It's not like you found, you've invented a new space shuttle to go into space to compete with SpaceX and all that other mess. So it's just learn to relax and have a good time. But I understand it's like you're nervous, you want to win, you don't know what to expect. It's a lot of jitters, a lot of craziness going on. But it's just like, okay, just have fun. It is what it is. But you already know people in Hollywood so damn what's the word? They're so daggone insecure that it's like they don't know how to just like relax. So they picked Conan O'Brien, although I would have preferred if they would have did Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. That, in my opinion, would have been a great combo because of the Deadpool Wolverine situation, and plus their banter back and forth. Like, Ryan is very much silly frat boy with his jokes, and then you have like the straight man in regards like very serious, but sarcastic, crazy, deadpan one-liners, which you would get from a Hugh Jackman. So I would have preferred that they would have did it, but I'm not that mad about Conan because we already know what Conan is going to give, especially because of his comedic background as well as he used to host he had a popular late night talk show back in the day. So I ain't mad. But what the article said. So they basically, according to Deadline, it said the Emmy-winning television host, writer, producer, and comedian, and now podcaster, will be the sole host for the 97th Annual Academy Awards on March 2nd. Now, Academy CEO Bill Kramer and Academy President Janet Yang announced yesterday it will be O'Brien's first time hosting the broadcast, saying, quote, "We are thrilled and honored to have the incomparable Conan O'Brien host the Oscars this year," said Kramer and Yang. "He is the perfect person to help lead our global celebration of film with his brilliant humor, his love of movies, and his live TV expertise. His remarkable ability to connect with audiences will bring viewers together to do what the Oscars do best, honor the spectacular films and filmmakers of the year." And here's what O'Brien had to say. He said, "America demanded it, and now it's happening. Taco Bell's new cheesy chalupa supreme. In other news, I'm hosting the Oscars." I was like, wait, America asked for Conan O'Brien to host the Oscars? I don't even know if Conan O'Brien was at the top of anybody's list when when it came down to this. But look, they picked him. I'm not that upset about it. It's like, okay, whatever. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel, I understand why he decided to turn it down. He still has a talk show and he's got a lot going on. And so it's a lot of work to go into focusing wholeheartedly on, okay, what bits are we going to do, the rehearsal time that it takes to go into that. Plus, on top of that, with all the rehearsal time that it takes to do these type of shows, you also have a late night talk show you got to do. So you got to prep for that. So I can understand it's overwhelming and a lot of work. And not everybody has the wherewithal to be like, okay, I can handle 2 shows at once. So, in regards to like the people who they said, because I remember that, what was it? John Mulaney had turned it down. As I said before, like I wanted Ryan Reynolds or Hugh Jackman, but because those names were buzzing around. But as they said that they reported, which I didn't know about this part, according to Deadline, they said Reynolds told me that was highly unlikely, though he said he would like to host with Jackman someday. So he wouldn't mind doing it, but he said this ain't the time, or it's not gonna happen anytime soon, but maybe down the road. And I guess that, O'Brien might be the safest host simply because, he's not like Jimmy Kimmel or Stephen Colbert or Seth Meyers or Jon Stewart or any of those types where they more or less lean into politics when it comes to their brand of comedy. Conan O'Brien is very much like, he's a safe choice, I guess, is like the word that I could use. And, with Donald Trump about to head back into the White House, I feel like a lot of Hollywood's gonna be walking on eggshells because they know how sensitive he is. When it comes to saying anything, he can call people names, he could demean people, he could do all kinds of whatever. It's like do as I do, not as I say, or do as I say, not as I do. That's kind of how I've noticed the motto of Donald Trump and people who gravitate towards his kind. It's so like I say whatever I say go, and none of y'all have a say so. And so Conan O'Brien will be the safe bet. I feel like he's a safe choice in this point because nobody wants to be dealing with, I guess, political humor at a time when it should be about celebrating movies and everything to do with movies. So I told this to say, what do y'all think of this story? You guys excited that we finally have a host and that it's Conan O'Brien? Or who would have been your choices if he was not your choice to host the Oscars? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, now let's move on. Let's talk about our new Laura Croft, played by the one and only Sophie Turner, who some of y'all may know as Sansa Stark. So she played Sansa Stark. She also played Dark Phoenix. She is the second actress to play Dark Phoenix in a live action version of the X-Men series. I did not like X-Men Dark Phoenix. I thought that movie was god awful. This is why I'm okay with it, but I'm a little worried with Simon Kinberg jumping on and doing like this Star Wars trilogy because I feel like a lot of the X-Men movies have been more missed than hit. I can name maybe out of all the X-Men, maybe 2 or 3 of them that I thought that I actually liked. I like X-Men 2. I like X-Men Days of Future Past. And I like Matthew Vaughn's first X-Men. What was that? First Class? Those are the only 3 that I like. All the other ones, y'all could burn all of them other X-Men's at the stake because I feel like out of all the X-Men, there was like 6, 7 sequels. How was it only 3 of them that were actually watchable, rewatchable, to be quite frank? Because the first X-Men's okay. I mean, I get when y'all were just trying to build it and all this other stuff. But to me, it's like I could watch anytime X-Men 2 comes on, I'm watching it. Anytime X-Men First Class comes on, I'm watching it. And anytime X-Men Days of Future Past comes on, I'm definitely sitting and watching that. Out of all of them, I will put X-Men Days of Future Past over all of those movies, to be quite frank with you. But so she is our new Lara Croft. And I haven't heard from the incels whether or not they have an issue with it, but I'm here for it. To me, she's English, so she ain't got to worry about working on an accent unless there's a specific type of dialect that Lara Croft has. I think most people wouldn't even know a difference if you're from, London versus Essex versus Warwickshire or whatever other parts of the UK that people wouldn't know. So I don't even think it matters if there's a specific type of accent. But the fact of the matter is, you have a British chick. She does have a pretty. She is a pretty girl. The only thing she would have to do is dye her hair. So I see no issue with Sophie Turner. But I'm sure there are people out there that take issue with it. But whatever. She is the new. Well, according to Variety, they said she hasn't officially signed on yet, but she is definitely she's about to be announced as the new Lara Croft. So they said that sources say that the deal is not fully closed, but is expected to close soon. Turner will play the lead role of Lara Croft, the titular Tomb Raider. The show was greenlit by Amazon earlier this year with Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I actually like Phoebe Waller-Bridge, based off of some of the stuff that she's done. And so I'm really hoping that, with her jumping on board, that she's able to execute this series, which is she is writing and executive producing it. Under her Amazon overall deal, it was first reported as being in development. at the streamer in January of 2023. Now, reps for Amazon MGM Studios have not commented on this story, by the way. So Turner is the latest high-profile actress to take on the role of Croft, who originated in the popular Tomb Raider video game series. And you already know that there have been many other people that have played this character, so she will be the third actress to play Lara Croft in a live action form. Because the first one to do it, of course, was Angelina Jolie. I love the first Tomb Raider. Second one with Daniel Craig was meh, but I just love seeing Angelina Jolie in the part. Then, of course, we had the one with Alicia Vikander. Now, the one with Alicia Vikander, I actually thought that kind of more or less resembled where Lara Croft is today, based on the video game. I didn't mind her as Lara Croft. I thought she did a good job in the part, and I thought the movie wasn't bad either. And I love me some Walter Goggins. So Walton Goggins being in that movie, I didn't mind it all that much. So just seeing him in anything, he's like one of my favorite character actors. So I didn't mind Alicia Vikander, and I would have loved to have seen her in more iterations of Tomb Raider. I just think maybe the reason why we haven't gotten a sequel is because I think the movie did okay, but it just didn't do great. And to me, to be honest, looking at Tomb Raider, no shade, but I honestly feel that Tomb Raider works best as a series rather than a movie. And I think it would work best as an 8-part series. Oh, they're probably going to do 8, because that's usually what they do over there. That's the cap number, usually what they do with Amazon. But I was hoping they would probably do an even 10. I mean, even though 8 is an even number, I would prefer if y'all did 10 parts rather than 8 parts. I hate this whole 8-part thing. I feel like a lot of y'all got that from Netflix. Which, quiet as it's kept, what irritates me about Netflix, y'all like to just drop all the episodes at once and don't do the week to week, which would build your audience. Because after the first weekend, I've done moved on to the next show. Most people, I feel like, do that. Whereas if you notice, when you look at shows like Agatha All Along and most recently The Penguin, their audiences grew significantly, throughout the week, especially when the finale came along. That's when I feel like the numbers really shot up. And I think it's because a lot of people probably waited, like myself, to, talking about Penguin, to the finale, and then we binged it. I watched the first 4 episodes, and then I'm just like, I'm gonna just wait and then binge it. And that's what I did. When the finale episode came on, I avoided the spoilers, thank God, even though I had a feeling what was going to happen to one of the main characters was going to get killed off. I had a strong feeling I knew who it was, but I was like, you want to know something? Let me just wait till the finale, and I'm going to just binge the last 4 episodes. And I'm kind of glad I did, because then I was really engaged in watching the series when I watch like that. The week to week, my mindset, I can't watch shows like that. I literally am a binger. So I don't mind that y'all do the week to week. Like, it's good for the numbers and the show and helping with the revenue. But for me, I like to wait. I'll watch a couple of episodes, and then when it's down to the wire, then I'll just do a full-on binge of the last half. That's usually how I go. I don't know if a lot of other people do that, but if y'all do, let me know in the comments if y'all do the same thing. But we already talked about how, like, she played Sansa Stark. Of course, she was also in X-Men Apocalypse, which was another terrible movie, and X-Men Dark Phoenix, 2 bad movies. I think they were both written by Simon Kinberg. She also appeared in the ITV/CW miniseries Joan and the Max Limited series The Staircase. I haven't seen either one of those. And so I say with this, I am a fan of Tomb Raider. Well, you know what? I love anything with like adventure, Indiana Jones, that sort of thing. So her being in this, I'm actually excited to see what she brings, her getting an action movie role. I remember I was having a conversation, even though I already knew about it before it was sent to me by Robert. And he said that if you notice, once she left Joe Jonas, that's when she started getting all these roles. And I'm like, I wasn't really paying attention. I thought she maybe just like voluntarily just took time off so that way she could take care of her children that she has. But apparently maybe that's not what it was. Maybe it was that, she was ready to, that it was like, yeah, after she divorced Joe, who wanted probably to keep her at home raising them babies while he was running off with his brothers singing their songs on a world tour. And she's like, I got to get back to what I do. I'm an actress. Like, before I met your ass, I was an actress, and you are a singer doing what you do. And now that that's all done and over with, Now I can get back to doing what I love. So I'm definitely excited to see what she's going to bring to this whole Tomb Raider franchise. There's been a lot of really good shows as of late that are based on video games that, like, I'm looking forward to the God of War series. So I can't even wait till they put that together in regards to that. Like, I've been hearing things. They got a whole new showrunner. The new showrunner they got definitely is an impeccable writer, EP, showrunner. So that show was in good hands. Even though they had an idea and then they got rid of the people over there. Then it was what? Fallout, love that show. Of course, oh my god, The Last of Us. I cannot wait for season 2. I'm so not looking forward to the Joel story and what happens to him. Not looking forward to them taking out my damn Pedro Pascal, but if you know what happened in the game, you know what's going to happen in the in the show. So I'm really looking forward to the last one. So now I'm starting to see, like, yeah, they finally got it in regards of taking stuff based on video games and realizing that, yeah, this is a series. These, like, some everything ain't supposed to be in no theater, no, and on a big screen or whatever the case is. Some things are best for a TV series, and you could expand on that universe. So I'm glad that some of the streaming services are finally getting it, and understanding it, and they figured out how to make the video game situation work for the small screen and in story form. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? You guys excited to see my girl Sansa Stark, aka Sophie Turner, about to star in as Lara Croft in the new Tomb Raider series? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Speaking of comments, we have some. Robert says, I guess in the UK, their TV shows is 8 to 13 episodes long because there are 24 episode seasons of how US Yanks do it. You get 5 or 6 storylines, and the last 5 or 6 has to wrap it up. Well, I would have to say I'm glad they kind of changed that with a lot of shows because, yeah, the thing that I hated about the 22 episode seasons that they would have for shows, it was like, yeah, they would start out a series and then it would kind of go off on a side tangent. Like Supernatural did it, so many other shows did it over the years, and then you get like maybe the last 3 or 4 episodes to wrap everything up, and but then they can kind of go into this whole serialized thing. That to me, it was like that was back when we had like this attention span. We could watch a lot of shows that would last one season. Now it's like I don't mind 10 episodes of a show. Where it's like, get in, tell me the story, and get out. We don't need, or 10 to 13 episodes. We don't necessarily need 22 episodes of a season. I don't want to spend 9 months doing one project. I know there's still shows like that are out on the networks that are doing that. Like you got your Law and Orders and all that other stuff that still does that, but the 22 episode orders. But and we still love those shows because they've been around for like 100 damn years. But for the most part, I'm ready. Like I don't mind like the shorter shows, but to tell us what need to be told, and you can move on. So a cliffhanger once was announced in February and March. If a new season is of 24 episodes comes back, when it was always guaranteed a new season immediately, unlike well, I can't. I'd be nervous to do anything with Netflix because y'all they be quick to cancel shit over there. But I keep saying they need to stop doing that, and that because the reason why a lot of y'all shows don't last is because you throw your whole show on the net. Y'all more or less about quantity instead of quality. Y'all just throw stuff up on Netflix and be like, "Oh look, it's there. Go watch it. It is what it is. It's on the thing. We don't need to promote it. We don't need any other stuff." And then people watch it. Then they done moved on. Which is why I don't like the whole drop a whole season at once and then we all move on. I prefer like I said, the week to week because it builds up word of mouth. People start talking about it and they're like, oh, look, have you seen this show? This show was pretty good. And then we're still talking about it week to week to week. I like the idea of like what Amazon does sometimes and other channels where it's like, we'll drop the first, well, I think it's mostly Amazon. They'll drop the first 3 episodes or 2 episodes, depending. I think that how many they do with what was it? I think Lord of the Rings they did too. I think with what was the other show? The Boys, the recent season. I think they did about 3 episodes. And then it's like week to week, then we drop the rest of them. So they want to get you hooked. Because I feel like for me, my rule is if you don't grab me by the 3rd episode, I'm done. That's usually my rule when it comes with a lot of shows. Don't be like, oh yeah, it gets good in the fifth episode. No, you got 3 episodes to get me hooked because I got a lot of shit going on. I ain't got time to be sitting up in here waiting to episode 5 for y'all to start cooking with gas. You should have had the gas on in the first 5 minutes, quiet as it's kept. But it's like if it's slow build and you're trying to get me to know the characters and stuff, I'm giving you 3 episodes. If you don't hook me, I'm moving on. So I like the idea that Amazon Prime does that. We'll drop the first 3 episodes, get you hooked, and then it's like, damn, I'm gonna wait till next week. Where's the rest of the episodes? So sometimes they get you, and then it's just like, time to now I gotta wait, which definitely gets me in the situation. So I prefer that they do that. I kind of wish Netflix would do that, but to me, I feel like Netflix is in the business of thinking that they're going to dismantle old media, which is the way that we consume film and television and all that other stuff. So, but you can keep doing that, Mr. Sarandos, and you see how that shit lasts over there with y'all. But I'm sure like Netflix will survive. Everybody else just do what you want. So it said, oh, you said that would tell actors I could do 1 or 2 films during my hiatus and then a 3-week vacation before going back to work. And that's what it is. It's like a lot of these actors, I mean, I don't mind doing like I could do a TV show that's 8 to 10 episodes. I'm basically spending 3 months on set, 2 to 3 months, and I can basically do 3 projects a year and take the rest of the year off. So that's like what, a good 3, and that's all I need. I'm like, well, first of all, for me, I just need like a good 2-3 week vacation. I'll even push it a month. I can do like 1 month where I just rest, and the whole time I can work. Like I'm good. I'm a workhorse that way. So it's like, and my thing is, I don't even take vacation, but I'm gonna start taking vacation. This year I actually did take vacation. But I'm not big on vacation. I'm gonna follow my father's model. My father always did this thing where it's like a week, every week out of the summer of the first 3 months. First week of June, first week of July, first week well, not just a week in June, a week in July, and a week in August. Or I think he would do like 2 weeks in August. I'm gonna start doing that. Because I feel like with the vacation, that's a good vacation to have if I was in a actor's perspective or just in my general life. I'm gonna start doing that. Okay, so child, let's get into some heavy stuff. I want to lighten the load a little bit before we get into the mess. So Stevie J appeared in that Downfall of Diddy Inside the Freak Ops documentary that TMZ did that's on Tubi. And he basically said that the shocking video hurt both himself and the diddler. Talking about the video of him beating on Cassie, which that was the only evidence that we've seen of him doing it. So we already know, like, if that's what you're doing and she was reacting the way she was reacting, that wasn't a first time situation. He's done that multiple times and she's become accustomed to it and she already knew how to, what mode to go into in order to survive. So she knew to ball herself up in a ball to try to protect herself and her face from getting kicked and all the other stuff. So yeah, he was basically talking about how they had a conversation and all this other stuff. I do have the clip, courtesy of the Twitter. I know everybody else is leaving Twitter, but I'm holding on to it because sometimes when I need to bring things up on this show, I gotta reference them. Or not reference them, but I just gotta go pull the clip. So hold on, we'll get to the clip of what he said, and then we'll talk. Please hold.
How did the Cassie video affect the way or alter the way you look at Diddy?
Well, it really threw me for a loop because, as I've always stated, I always think about and talk about the things that I know to be true about Sean Combs. And, after I saw the video, I went and saw him in Miami and we had a conversation. And I let him know how affected I was by that. And, I didn't know that he had that in him to do that.
My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility.
So my conversation with him was basically like, yo, like you one of my heroes out here and you hurt me with that.
And what did he say back to you?
I mean, it was pretty much, a brotherhood moment that I'd rather not discuss right now, but it was a real emotional moment.
Can you give me some sense of it? Because I think it's important to know how he was dealing with friends like you when you suddenly see something like this that you say comes out of the blue?
He was
Why are you
hurt
looking like that?
that video came out. It crushed him, you know, because he's like, yo, my daughters and my mom got to see this. And I'm like, yeah, your friends got to see it too. So it really hurt him that was the video came out.
That's interesting. It hurt him because the video came out or because of what he did on the video?
I believe both hurt him. What he did on the video, he couldn't believe that was the darkest point in his life, and he had to relive that and see that again with his ex-girlfriend of 10 years. Who wants to see themselves beating on a girl in a video? I think that would kind of like hurt all of us. Any man.
Okay. Okay. Stevie, you sound like a damn fool. What the hell is he talking about? First of all, he's sitting up in there talking about, oh, it will hurt. It hurt him to see that on the video, which makes it sound like to me that he had to sit and he was embarrassed because the video got out and that the world saw him as the monster that I've always pegged him to be for years. There was always something about Diddy that I told you, like, I have pretty good instinct when it comes to people. You know, we Virgos are real good at sussing out people when y'all got ill intentions or whatever the case was. Diddy always gave me that. There was always something dark and sinister about him. He also said something or another that, you know, he was so high on drugs, he didn't realize that he was doing what he was doing. It felt like he was talking about, but over the years, well, not even over the years, like, remember when the video came out? First of all, he called Cassie, when we heard about the Cassie and the lawsuit and all the other stuff, he called her a liar. He said he didn't do nothing to hurt her and all this other stuff. Then the video comes out months later, or maybe I think it was a month later, and then he was forced to address it. So I don't feel like, to me, in my opinion, I don't feel like that Diddy was sorry for what he did to Cassie. I believe that he's sorry that his ass got caught. That's what I feel like out of this whole situation. I feel like he has no remorse in the whole situation. He was worried about his mother seeing him do that and his daughters and some stuff. Because, yeah, I'm sure that over the years, Diddy was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in regards of how he presented himself in front of people. He was the happy-go-lucky party boy. I'm just turning up and doing all this. I'm love, you know, all that fake shit that he wanted to put in front of his people. But behind the scenes, when he would get around certain people, they got to see the real side of him. And like I said, the way he grabbed her up in that video, that was not the first time that he put paws on that girl. That had to been a multitude of times that he did that. So Stevie up in here giving me Ray J tease in regards of the same. Remember when we talked about Ray J the other day? Y'all just some opportunists trying to get on camera that's talking out of both sides of y'all damn mouth, because I'm sure that y'all have seen a whole lot more than what you putting on. But you want us to believe this BS. So I'm not buying a word of what Stevie is saying up in here, because he did say, I just know that he was in a dark place in his life, as he described to me, and he was doing a lot of drugs. So I do ask this. Doing drugs, and a lot of the drugs, because he was doing the pink booger sugar, he was doing a whole lot of stuff, like, you know, based off of all the things that we've heard so far, and I'm tired of regurgitating the same thing about the sex trafficking, and no. We already know by now, because every day, you know, media has been drilling this into your brain on what he's done. So it makes me wonder, is drugs an excuse, and can it be used as a scapegoat for your behavior? Would drugs cause you to do the things that you're doing? Because, you know, when people say alcohol is a truth serum, like, I feel like when you do drugs, it does lower your inhibitions. A lot of times that part of ourselves that we've learned to suppress, so that we don't let other sides of our situation out into the world, that when you are feeling fruitful and fancy free with the drugs, that it allows you to be the true version of yourself that you be suppressing. Which is what I feel like a lot of people say when it comes to drinking alcohol, that how alcohol is a truth serum. When you start hearing people saying certain things to you and saying real nasty shit out their mouth and be calling you all kinds of, when is the dark side, when they be calling you all kinds of derogatory names or whatever the case is, could that also play a hand in it? Because look, I don't be doing the type of drugs that y'all was talking about, the diddler was doing. It was not causing me out here to be beating the shit out of no damn body. I ain't never taken a drug that made me want to fight. I may have drunk some whiskey and the dark side of me come out and I'll be throwing them hands. And I have done that quite a few times. But in regards of like the drugs, like drugs and stuff, I don't feel like, well, first of all, I've never done hard enough drugs that made me want to get to that point. So I don't know. I'm side-eyeing this situation. It does feel like to me that Stevie is making excuses in a way to what may have transpired with the diddler. So I asked you all, what do you think of this story? Are y'all buying what Stevie is out here selling to the people in regards to Diddy? I mean, regardless of what he did to Cassie and all the other stuff, he does have all these other charges against him, you know, based on the allegations that so many hundreds of people have come out and said that he has done the grooming, the abuse, the alleged SA of minors and all that other stuff. These are the things that he has to go forth and answer for, as well as moving drugs and the semi-automatic weapons that they found in his house when they did the raid. So there's a laundry list of things that is being held against Diddy. Was drugs all a part of that? So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Speaking of comments, we got a light. We got a lot. Well, thank you. I do see that somebody talking about answer me, please. Are you AI or a stalker? Because look, I am busy. When I'm in the middle of a show, I do not have has Harvey dyed his beard. He pushes second chair. I'm sure that's not the only thing he's had. I'm sure he had a little Botox too. Maybe he went to Joe Biden's doctor. So okay, so now let's get into this other Diddy story. With Suge Knight out here talking about that he allegedly that the diddler SA'd Justin Bieber and Usher. Haven't we talked about this on the show already? In regards of like the possibility that happened. I mean, quite as it's came, I think we all kind of believe that that's what happened, but I don't think either one is going to want to talk about it. So in a lengthy interview with reform mobster Michael Franzese from behind bars, the Death Row Records co-founder claimed that Puffy groomed Justin Bieber and had sexual relationships with Usher. So then he also detailed the Bad Boy Boss alleged inappropriate relationship with Bieber, the Biebs, with whom he struck up a relationship with when he was a teen star. So he talks about all this. I do have the clip. And remember, let's not forget that Usher was a mentor to Justin Bieber. He signed him up and mentored him and all this other stuff. And based off of that, it's like, it's not that far-fetched that he could have passed off Justin Bieber into the clutches of Diddy, and Diddy did the same thing to him, allegedly what he did to Usher. Because remember, Usher was living with Diddy when he was same age. What was it, like 13, 14? And Usher implied that he had seen some things behind the scenes at Diddy's house when he was a teenager, when he admitted that on Howard Stern. So we do have the clip, courtesy of Michael Franzese. I'm on his YouTube channel, so I want to give him, some credit before we play the clip, and then we'll come back and we'll talk. Please hold.
He the fall guy right now. It's not one celebrity that he hung with is speaking up for him. Snoop and Puffy was so closer than most.
Really?
They would do things together and party together and do things that it was uncomfortable for two men to be that way. Clark and Trey, Russell Simmons,
You think
everybody knew who Puffy is. This the big question is this. It's not one person didn't know that Puffy was Usher. It's not one person didn't know what the saddest thing in the world is what they did to Justin Bieber.
What was that?
That's sad.
What'd they do to him? Because there's a lot of speculation out there, but nobody. I mean, I've heard things, but what did they really do to him?
They had sex with him
When he was a kid.
I hate to say that. I hate to say that because I really like Justin Bieber. I feel bad for Justin Bieber. And this wouldn't have happened if Justin Bieber came from a wealthy family. Justin Bieber pretty much came from a poor family, but the young man was so talented, and he could have been bigger than Michael Jackson. But the depression of the drugs and the stuff he allowed these grown men to do to this little boy, is unhealthy and it's fucked up. No grown men supposed to be getting high and doing drugs and drinking with a kid.
Hey, Suge, you
So
know,
I was saying,
yeah, Justin Bieber has been getting this out in different ways. You know, you could see it in his music and just what he's been trying to say without saying it. So, I mean, I think everybody knows what you just stated to be true.
Stop smashing.
Okay, so there you have it. I agree with that. It's like, just if people haven't paid attention, and you know what, a lot of the believers have been paying attention, and they have brought it up in the music. Like, since the whole Diddy situation came out, there have been a lot of believers that were going back and listening to Justin's music, including like one of the songs, Lonely, and they said that is one of the songs that was brought up that Justin was laying little breadcrumbs in the situation and talking about it. So I know, like, he's not going to come out and directly say stuff. And you got Usher out here who, child, quiet as kept. I heard some stories about Miss Mama's hunching other dudes behind the scenes. Not saying that he's been hunching young boys, because I ain't never heard that, but I don't think Usher is 110% heterosexual, if you know what I'm saying, and I think you do. But in regards to that, I do believe what Suge Knight is saying. I know a lot of people probably look at Suge Knight as being like, you know, oh, what is his, you know, questioning his credibility because of his reputation. But in regards to this whole situation, I do not think that Suge Knight has a reason to lie. Like, what does he have to gain from this? I mean, he's in jail I don't think he's ever getting out of prison. Like the Diddler. I don't think either one of them is getting out of prison for the rest of his life. Now, Diddy can keep his hopes up and have all these lawyers working, you know, overtime, trying to get him to get released, or the bond and all that other mess, which is not going to happen, sir. So I don't know why you keep trying. But in regards to this whole situation, I believe Suge in all of this. Like, we've been saying this many a times on this show about the Diddler and Justin Bieber and Usher getting abused. And that is what happens a lot in this business. Is not just in the music world. This is why the comparisons between Diddy and Harvey Weinstein came up, because there was a lot of that in the world too, especially like the movie world, music world, all kind of it's the lines are blurred pretty much in regards of, you have a lot of these young people who come from impoverished communities. Because yeah, Justin Bieber was a poor kid from Canada. It was like, I don't think Usher came for money either. But a lot of these kids who come from single parent households who want to make a dream of themselves and be famous and be a, you know, performer. I don't know if it's necessarily the fame that they're focused on. They know they have talent, they can sing, and they have a little talent up in them. They just want to see their name in lights and they want to perform. And then you have these predators that come along, and there's a lot of them. And not only in the music industry, but in the movie industry. I mean, ask Corey Feldman, he'll tell you. And so many others, where it's like, a lot of these kids, and then we talked about it from like the Nickelodeon thing and so many other projects, where it's like, the T is a lot of predators are running around in this industry trying to prey on your kids. And we've seen, and I love the fact that there's so many of them now that have found the courage to come out and speak on it. So if y'all definitely want to see the rest of the rest of that interview, you could definitely go and look up it on YouTube, or you can go to my website over at chrisevelyn.com. I did post it in there, basically with the same headline, that how Suge Knight accuses Diddy of S.A.ing Justin Bieber and Usher. You can basically look that up and watch it. It's definitely quite an interesting interview. So I saw this and say, what do y'all think of this story? Do y'all actually believe what Suge Knight is saying about Diddy S.A.ing allegedly Justin Bieber and Usher? And, you know, shame on those of y'all that was in the business that are aware of what was going on and didn't do anything about it. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Victor Yates said, I just logged on. I have been logged on a set. I've been locked on a set for my bitch. I already talked about you. Congratulations on For the Love of Dilfs. So yeah, my friend is on the season 3 of For the Love of Dilfs. It's funny, like I told y'all before, that every season of For the Love of Dilfs, I knew somebody that was on there. First season was Alex Tikas, the adult performer. Season 2, was Nick Mask, who I met when I moved out to LA. Once I started like getting my bearings and hanging out in LA, I would always run into Nick. We was always hanging out in VIP. It was him. And then some of the porn stars and stuff that we would hang out with. So I was always at Avita. That's when we always run into each other. And he was, we always would have like it would be cordial. We would have little conversations and hug it on out and all this other stuff. So yeah. And then season 3 now we got Victor Gates. But child, I want the exclusive. I was like, when this show airs or something, maybe I can get you on for an interview and then we could talk about the show. Because look, I had Alex Tikas on season 1. So we can get on here and have a chat. But yeah, you did say that when you come to New York, that you're gonna let me know though. Hey, if y'all have a premiere, invite me, bitch. Like I be getting invited to them drag race them drag race premieres. I want to go to the For the Love of Dose one if they decide to have one. Y'all should at this point. Out TV, y'all need to get y'all situation together in regards to that. Because I do watch a lot of your Out TV programs, over there. I do watch the Slag Wars. I do watch X-Rated NYC and LA. And all that good stuff. Oh, but you said they're even hinting Britney's biopic is a tale of what happens when a person like Britney becomes public figure and the public acts like we own the celebrities. Well, if they can come from it at that angle, I think that would work as long as like the music and all this other stuff. So I'll be looking forward to what they're planning on doing with the whole Britney situation when that happens. Okay, so now let's move on. Let's talk about Miss Leah McSweeney, who it looks like that reality reckoning is happening. I need to call up my other source who be giving me the tea on what be going on behind the scenes at Bravo. Because they told me some tea about Miss Teresa that I was sworn to keep to myself, and I can't say it, about why she is a little delayed when she be her behavior, why she a little slow. Child, I got to keep that. I'm taking that to my grave until it come out. I have to tell some of y'all in private. Because I hate when I be having good tea and I can't tell nobody. But anyway, let's get into this Leah McSweeney story. So apparently, they made their way to the courtroom. So Leah McSweeney finally came face to face with Andy Cohen's lawyers because she's accusing them of a whole lot of stuff. And the good thing, why I have to say that I heard the judge say he's never watched a single episode of The Real Housewives. Thank God, because then at least you ain't gonna be biased in your situation. Not everybody watches Andy Cohen's programs. I know that probably had to crush him. You mean there's somebody in the world that don't watch The Housewives? Yes, sir. Not everybody watches a bunch of old hens up there arguing with each other, while drinking some cheap damn liquor. So according to page 6, they said a New York court heard oral arguments from an attorney representing Andy Cohen, Bravo, and his parent company, NBC Universal, because of course he ain't showing up, but Leah gonna be in the courtroom. And then it said, among others, about why it should toss a suit brought by former Real Housewives cast member Leah McSweeney. Now, McSweeney, who is a recovering alcoholic, has claimed that the network intentionally tried to make her fall off the wagon to make more ratings grabbing TV. But lawyers for Cohen say that the court should throw out the suit because the producer's behavior is protected by the freedom of speech protected by the U.S. Constitution. Well, child, guess what? Once you know who get in the office, we ain't going to have a damn Constitution left. Why this is scared. Now, attorney Adam Levin of Mitchell Silberberg Knupp argued in Manhattan Superior Court that interactions between McSweeney and the producers, even those off camera, were all part of their attempts to craft a message to the viewers and are beforehand protected by the First Amendment. They also went on to say that, so Judge Louis Lyman pressed Levin on whether there were limits on producers, such as whether they could beat a cast member off camera so long as the intention was to have them behave a certain way on camera later. He implied by explaining there were exceptions. However, McSweeney's lawyer, Sarah Matz of Edelman Matz, pushed back, saying that courts have never said that the limits of free speech stopped a crime. saying you are not allowed to breach people's rights simply because you're pointing a camera at them. She said during a hearing, there's a difference between crafting a message and making a show that you think people will watch. The case is set to resume after Thursday after the defense requested that discovery in which each side can demand to see confidential messages and files belonging to the other in the case be put on hold until the judge has ruled on the motion to dismiss. McSweeney appeared in court on Thursday wearing a gray powder suit, black shirt, and matching heels. She walked into the courthouse arm in arm with another woman who was wearing a large brown coat. Now, I do have that picture, but you can see what she's wearing here. But yeah, that's this whole going arm in arm. That person's cute. She's looking a little. But here's the thing. Now, I already told y'all that I did do an episode of The Real Housewives, but I don't think Leah McSweeney was on the season I did. She was on, I did the one Sending the Clowns, which was the circus one, when Tinsley came on there, and basically I just came down, gave people the drinks, and you either have a choice. You can either drink the drink or don't drink the drink. But I understand that some people do use alcohol as a way of liquid courage. But the question is Bravo responsible for this, or are the producers behind, who is it, Shed Media? Are the producers behind Real Housewives of New York responsible for trying to do whatever they can to manipulate, to really get people sauced up in order for them to loosen up so that way we can get some drama? Sometimes a lot of these girls be cooking up drama just so that way they can keep apple. Because that's New York. New York is like the apple, then we got the diamond over there with Beverly Hills. And you can't tell me Dorit ain't up here trying to create some stuff because she know her ass was on the line. And so now I'm going to start fights with Kyle Richards and all this other stuff because my house allegedly it did say it in the news, but I'm gonna say allegedly that her house about to go into foreclosure because they ain't been paying bills on that place for months. And now you did what you had to do, playing around with your marriage with PK, and then starting a fight with Kyle in the finale, so that way you can keep your diamond another damn season. Because I do believe in my heart of hearts that Dorit was on the chopping block. But to get back to Leah, I almost call her Sydney Sweeney. Well, shout out to her. She's going in on her own actors and stuff. She was saying something or another about actors and how women are talking about, oh yeah, we want to be cordial and copacetic and kumbaya with each other, but they're not really. They talking the talk, but not walking the walk. Like they saying that this is something they want to do, but they're not actually doing it. But to get back to Leah McSweeney, do they have a chance of throwing this out? Like, I don't know if it's necessarily Bravo. Now, Bravo is the network that airs the show. I don't know how much of an input that Andy Cohen has behind the scenes on the show, because yes, even though he is a talent with Watch What Happens Live, he no longer has a producer, like a big, like overlord role over at Bravo. Now he is a talent, but he still gets a EP credit for The Real Housewives. So he still runs that show, and he still runs Watch What Happens Live. So I don't know how much input that he has in, excuse me, in regards to the production and everything that goes on with the Housewives. So I guess Leah's going to have to prove all that in court on his big role in all of this. So here's what she's alleging. Because she said that the producers who are aware of her history of mental health and substance abuse issues would try to destabilize her when she refused to drink in hopes of an on-camera meltdown. Now, it could be ways that, there are some, I would not be surprised if there were some producers that was working behind the scenes that was pulling some manipulative stuff that knew someone's trigger and issues. Because we've seen it many times on reality shows. Oh, my biggest fear is snakes. So they're going to put you in a situation where there's snakes so that way they can get a reaction. We've seen this happen time and time again, where it's like, even with competition shows, we can even throw RuPaul's Drag Race up in there where some people will complain and say, oh, well, the one thing I said I was afraid to do, or that was my biggest fear. And then they are going to incorporate that in the episode. So I understand like y'all trying to create scenarios for our entertainment. But if it's a situation where this person does have an issue with their sobriety, one, If producers are manipulating and doing things as a way to get this person to fall off the wagon for the sake of ratings, you're disgusting for that. However, on the other hand, when I look at the talent, if you know a show is basically about a bunch of women getting around, arguing, fighting, mostly, and drinking themselves into a stupor, why would you put yourself in a situation where you would want to be a part of a series that condones that? Maybe somebody like a Leah McSweeney would have been better off doing like The Traitors or something or another rather than a Real Housewives, because we know what the Real Housewives gives when you watch it. But if she feels like she got a case, then says you keep pushing on, and we'll see if you actually win something. But I feel like they're probably going to go forward with it, and they might settle it. She also claimed a different singer producer would send unsolicited pictures of their genitalia to lower level production employees. Well, child, if somebody was doing it, you better have them pictures saved, and you better have sent that to your attorney so they can bring it up in the court. Because, you know, if you saying that all this other stuff was going on, I always say the evidence just in case. I don't know why people don't think of that ahead of time. It's like, you know what, I'm going to put this in my little cloud. So that way, if anything happened on a rainy day, I got the evidence. And I don't put nothing past that was what was going on. Because remember, at one point, Andy Cohen was kicking with Miss Brandy Glanville and was about how he wanted to have a threesome or something or another, one of the co-stars and wanted Brandy to watch. It's about, oh, I was being facetious. I was joking. I was like, sir, you get, and this is why I said that man, his problem is that you are the boss, but you get too comfortable with your talent. And I understand, like, in the entertainment industry, it is way different than it is working in a regular job environment. It's like you can joke around and it's pretty much more of a laid back type of vibe. Like when I was over at VH1 and versus like a corporate world regular job, the way that how people were laid back and could joke with each other and the things they would say to each other, I'm like, wait, this is no big deal that y'all talk like this. So it was a shock. It was a culture shock for me versus when you work at a regular job, something outside of the entertainment industry. It's like, yeah, they have all these checks and balances in place where you got to watch what you say in regards to like sexual harassment, that sort of thing, where you got to take all these courses. So it was a lot different. So that's why I was like, I'm not surprised that I guess maybe Andy was getting a little too comfortable. But it's like, you got to watch it, especially in these times. So she also said that they also allege that the reality stars claim, and they're talking about Leah, sought to abridge defendants' First Amendment rights to tailor and adjust the messages they wish to convey in their creative works, including through a cast selection and other creative decisions. Matt's, meanwhile, said that in response to the defendant's argument that they were essentially allowed to discriminate against their client was inaccurate. She said to agree with the defendants would be to essentially say that the creative industries are not subject to anti-discrimination and anti-retaliation laws, and that networks would engage in discrimination and retaliation with impunity, which is not the law. Well, there's that. And she filed her amendment in June, which she said that Cohen retaliated against her by trying to blackball her from the entertainment industry and disparage her in the press. Well, isn't that the same thing that when Ms. Nene Leakes came out and said some stuff, that they claimed that was another allegation, that when people spoke out against him, allegedly for the racism and all the other stuff going on the channel, that or where her being at Bravo and behind the scenes, and then she ended up being blackballed for a point, and now you start to see her at NBC, and allegedly there's a rumor that she's coming back to the Housewives. So I will definitely keep abreast of this story as it develops. But yeah, that was the first part of the reality reckoning. And child, sidebar, where is Bethany? You got a whole lot to say about Kamala Harris' campaign and why she lost and her hobnobbing with celebrities. But sis, where are you on this whole reality reckoning thing? Because we haven't heard from you for a month of Sundays in regard to talking about this reality reckoning, as you like to call it. So whatever your thoughts are on this story, I would like to hear from you, you Bravo celebrity and Housewives fans. And sidebar, before I forget, I'm hearing word on the curb is that Real Housewives of New York, the reboot, is about to be chopped. Which I'm not surprised, because I don't know not one person that watches this reboot of the Real Housewives of New York. First of all, I don't know why y'all didn't like just keep a couple of the OGs, get rid of Ramona, and just bring maybe some newer girls up in there that are from other aspects of New York that you could have kind of like zhuzhed it up. This new crop of girls, y'all are not entertaining to me. Y'all are not interesting. I didn't care. Give me my Sonia Morgan. Give me my Luann. All them girls. Y'all could have brought them back and just brought in some fresh meat. That's why if y'all do a complete overhaul of Jersey, I feel like that's going to get canceled too. And don't even get me started on Real Housewives of Dubai. I don't think that show was just put on pause. So it looked like, I feel like, what, the tide is turning. People are kind of like, I guess, not as enthused by the Housewives anymore. And Andy, it might be time for y'all. Well, not only Andy, but whoever's running Bravo, it may be time to kind of rejudge and restructure and give Bravo a makeover, because I feel like the Housewives ain't really what's holding it down over there anymore. Sometimes, shows are not meant to last 16, 17, 18 seasons. Everything that has a beginning has an end. It is time for y'all to find some new things to put up there if y'all want to keep that channel afloat. So let me know. But although I will say this, I am looking forward to Beverly Hills, child, because that new season looks good. And I already saw the first 7-minute clip. When does that show come on? I need to look it up. Because, I love Beverly Hills. And I feel like out of all the franchises, that's like the only one that I really get excited for. All the other ones, I'm just like, okay. Y'all coming back for another season? Oh, okay. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so Lord, is this spam? Because I always be saying like I be getting a lot of these things, and I be worrying about, okay, is this for real or this spam? But into my mind, channel is impressive. Yes, it is. Blessed and highly favored. But anyway, let me get up off here with this. So let's move on to Miss Kenya Moore Care, who went over to Tamron Hall and finally opening it up about her firation from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Because am I mistaken? But didn't she kind of lie and say that she wasn't fired? That she didn't not only the firation, but that she also did not share sexually explicit photos of Brittany Eady. Well, now she over here on Tamron Hall saying something completely different. And the one thing I will say about this, well, I had to watch clips because, first of all, Tamron Hall's show don't end up on any of the channels, so I can't watch a full episode. And then when I do watch it, and you know what? I live for you, Tamron, because you're my Virgo sister. However, the thing that irritates me about Tamron, she don't shut the fuck up long enough to let people get a sentence in. That's the only thing that irritates me about her. Like, she always be cutting people off when she talk. Sis, I need you to listen, absorb, take it all in before you be trying to cut in and say what you gotta say. Let Kenya let Kenya hang herself, which quiet as it's kept. When I watched this clip, she pretty much hung herself. Because I was with you until you started playing the blame game, where she was just like, yeah, I'm sorry for what I did, but my kid was dead, and then started out, okay, now this heifer out here trying to get a Razzie with the crocodile tears. But before I start going in further, let me bring up the clip, courtesy of the Twitter, so we can watch as a family what Miss Kenya Moore Haircare had to say. Please.
Simply, I mind my business, and I don't start anything. I respond. So during this taping, the young lady escalated it to the point of tearing off mics, screaming all kind of obscenities at me, and threatening me. I felt threatened.
So let me pause here, because I have to be fair to this person, Brittany Eady. She has nothing on her Instagram about this. I've never met her.
It's been deleted.
There's nothing on her Instagram about this.
Yes.
We reached out. She did not respond to her. And I actually don't want to litigate her actions, because I do believe people don't get to respond to pick how you respond.
They do not get to choose how you respond.
But you have to be accountable for how you respond.
100%.
So whatever, which I have no tape of, I don't know what happened. You've explained to the audience that there was some escalation and some things that went on there. But going to your reaction to it, so you're alleging this thing happened between you, the two of us. You think her behavior or alleged behavior was because she wanted to make a name for herself on the show. Okay, I don't know any of that.
Right.
Take me to the salon, because I'm all proud because you have a new salon. You're opening this new business, and no one is talking about you opening their business. They are reports that you had.
It overshadowed it.
You overshadowed it. Yes. This is what happened. They were saying you had these pictures of her.
Yes. Okay, let me tell you what happened. So from that night where all of this stuff happened and there were threats in my direction, and I felt very concerned. I told the producers, I'm concerned, I'm scared, and I kind of feel like they said, "Oh, we'll take care of it." And it didn't feel like it was taken care of. They actually made me feel like I was being like a black Karen. Like, here Kenya goes again. Nothing really happened. They were joking or something. I don't take threats or the way that I felt. You can't invalidate my feelings. And it was a real concern.
Well, hold on, because we got the rest of the clip. It's like, wait, what happened? Let me minimize.
Validate my feelings. And it was a real concern for me. I'm a single mom with a beautiful child that if anything happened to me, no one would be there for her.
So you felt threatened by some actions that happened?
Yes. And she repeatedly said, or it was said that you don't know who I am. So I didn't feel like I was being protected, and I took matters into my own hands. I did my research on her. I found a lot of information, especially in the explicit world, with a few clicks, with people helping me. I didn't get things sent to me, photos or videos that I did see, allegedly that were her. And I said, okay, if no one else is going to step up for me and protect me, I'm going to protect myself, and I'm going to tell everyone what I found out about her. It's a receipt. And before I joined Housewives of any franchise, 5 years in, we made up the term receipts, right? Yeah. If you find dirt on someone or somebody is messing with you, you come back with what? A receipt. Right. I found a valid receipt found on the internet.
So you knew that Bravo was recording your
Yes, it was during a taping. Everyone signed waivers. It was during a taping. I didn't stand out on the corner, posting anything. It was during a taping. And we know, even with nudity that has happened on the show, they blur things out. So at the end of the day, I knew that they would likely blur it out because whatever it was that I found, they didn't like the receipt. It was explicit. And they didn't like, I found a lot, but I only showed one.
Okay, so at the salon, you have these images up that you say you found on your own.
I pulled them out at some point.
So they were up. At some point, you pulled them out.
That was one part of it, yes.
But they're up.
Yes.
Okay. And so you assumed that they would be blurred out when this aired.
Of course they would. They can't show
because
nudity.
They can't show this.
Yes.
Were you building a moment? I mean, I know you said the other person was trying to make a name for themselves, allegedly. Mm-hmm. Were you trying to have a Kenya moment doing this and it backfired?
I don't think that it's a Kenya moment. I live my truth.
But you're the shade assassin.
I'm the shade assassin, but my moment is my life. Right. You know what I mean?
Damn, I was trying to find that other clip with her up in here. Crocodile tears, or whatever the case is. I think I might have found it. Hold on. Yeah, I found it. Hold on, because this is the clip. Because I was like, let's get to the crocodile tears.
And I believe the photos were very distasteful, and I elevated the situation. I've elevated situations before, and I've taken full accountability for the things that I've done. I am sorry for what I've done. I didn't have to take it that far. But when I felt threatened, I've never had a child and be in a situation like this before. So that's why I escalated it to the point where I was protecting not only myself, but my child.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look, and also, hold on, because Kenya jumped in the comments. She was like conveniently leaving out where I said the RP allegations were a lie. So, but of course, girl, you already know that the neighborhood talk is going to spin their own narrative in regards of what the tea is in regards to that. But you want to know something? It was good that she did take a little bit of accountability for the things that she did. But to be honest, look, I like Kenya. She should have been 110% truthful because here's the thing in the beginning. Now, this is where, she want to talk about receipts. Let's look at the receipt. So she did say on June 14th, while she was filming the 16th season, She denied any allegations of wrongdoing and posted on the Twitter, and I quote, "I would never engage in revenge porn. I have never distributed private images or footage of anyone, nor solicited images owned by others to use to threaten or blackmail. I have always been vindicated. I can't talk about story or even with people planning fake news. Hashtag Sweet 16. So sis, how you gonna say that in June? And then 5 months later, get your ass up on Tamron Hall show and say something completely different. She then said in her Instagram story, "Believe nothing of what you hear and half of what you see. The truth always comes to light." Well, 5 months later, the truth came out. The show ain't even aired yet, but you came up with your truth, and now you sit up here saying that, yeah, you all the things that were leaked by people who apparently got the tea. Shout out to B. Scott, because she was one of them that had the tea and posted on her page. Has basically all the things you just said on Tamron Hall that you admitted to was pretty much in the reports. So everything you said, I wasn't surprised. I'm glad that you actually owned up to it and you said that you are sorry for that video, the post and everything coming out. Because here's the thing, when you think it in the context of like a soap opera, and that is what The Housewives is. The Housewives is our modern day reality TV soap opera, just with no script. Well, like when you watch General Hospital and all them other shows with Saab, I heard word on the curb is General Hospital might be on the verge of being canceled. We're going to have to talk about that at another time. But getting back to this, I'm not surprised that Kenya Moore Head Care is out here now groveling, because I'm not saying she broke, but I do feel like she does miss that reality TV money. I believe she was getting paid over $1 million over there at the Housewives. And that's good, that's a good amount of coin that you bring in, especially if you're doing a Real Housewives and you live in Atlanta. So she was, doing what needed to be done on that. I do like, the thing about Kenya Moore is, this is what I hate about TV in general. When it comes to certain situations, y'all will prop people up because y'all live for the shade and all the other stuff. And Kenya has been someone who was a shade assassin, which she was right about, which is first season, you came up in there, Gone with the Wind, Fabulous, twirling around, and it was skill. Then during the reunion, you puffed out your fan and you were, flopping it around, doing all the stuff. It was a cackle because, shout out to the femme queens that like to flop their fans. That is old, that's what we do in the homosexual community. So that was cute too. Then you came out the next season with The Scepter, which of course you started to trigger something in Miss Portia, and she had to drag your ass across that damn stage during the reunion. So I get that part too. Now you coming with this, okay, so what's the next level thing that I need to do? Oh, I'm gonna just show your coochie and everything all over, at my hair care situation, my salon. Have everybody gagging and clutching their pearls. I know everybody want to sit up here, oh my God, I can't believe it, that's so gross. To me, that would have been iconic TV. Because, when I'm thinking about drama and what these type of shows bring, I would have been cackling over that. But that is revenge porn in so many ways. And to me, looking at it is that, I'm glad she finally she owned up to it. But what the people said in the comments. So some people over there said has always been a Karen, and finally justice for Kim Fields. First of all, Kim Fields should have never done the Housewives of Atlanta. She was not a good fit for that. Child, not Elgin. Charles up in the comments. That's Jack Hay ex-husband. Said, how was she protecting her daughter by showing explicit photos of a fellow housewife in a public setting? Yeah, that didn't make no sense to me. I'm still trying to understand, like, what danger was your kid in that you did that? And that's what made me kind of not feel like, okay, Kenya, you came up in there trying to run game on Tamron. And like I said, with us Virgos, we saw it through the BS, and she saw it through your ass when you got up on that stage. So Tamron clocked you a couple of times when you was up there. But I do agree with Elgin. It's like, what they got to do with Brooklyn? What did she do to Brooklyn that you felt the need that it was so extreme of how Miss Brittany was treating you that you had to show her entire coochie or whatever the picture was all at your salon? Sidebar, is the salon still around, or was that a storyline for the show? Inquiring minds want to know. Ooh, I'm a poet and I know it. Another person said, I hate when Kenya shows this side of her, the side where she pokes and pokes and pokes, gets a reaction, then victimizes herself. Kenya, just stop using Brooklyn for sympathy. No one's doing anything to you to that extent. I'm trying to find the one with Kenya in the comments. Because I see it on the website, but it's just like it's hard to find it. Because like I'm looking for it on in the regular thing. But you know, it's hard to find like her actual comment because I can see it literally on the wall. Let me see if I can pull it up over here and see what the people were saying about her in the comments. Oh, so let's see. Okay, so somebody said you lucky she didn't sue you, girl. Oh, this is like a day ago, so I probably got to scroll all the way down to try to find it. But that's neither here nor there. If y'all care enough, y'all can go over there and look at the situation over on the Neighborhood Talk. Shout out to them for this story. And so yeah, I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Are y'all buying what Miss Kenya Moore hair cares out here selling? Or do you feel like she's full of SHIT? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. And speaking of comments, let's go to some of them over here. Yes, I know, Onyx. You can't stand Kenya Moore. I knew that. That's why I was like, oh, let me bring this story up in here. It said she's not sorry. She got exactly same thing with the dead love when we were sitting up in here talking about Stevie, talking about Diddy. And this whole situation with Cassie. Now, what about how Cassie feel? You sit up in here and spend more time talking about, oh, well, he was appalled by what he did and all this other mess. So of course you blaming the victim in so many ways without actually saying it. You trying to protect Diddy, but he was the one out here using his power, money, and influence to beat on this girl and traffic and do all kinds of other craziness. But you on here trying to sell Harvey on some mess. And Harvey just so happy that he could find a way to grift on the backs of blacks again with his tight ass video. But anyway, they said most of the Tamara Hall interview was about the RP. She's looking for sympathy from the fan base and people in charge. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we know she's not sorry. Hazel Mermaid said beautiful woman, but a toxic, nasty spirit. Mm-hmm. That's the funny part. But people said like she got a, we like Kenya is a pretty girl, but she got an ugly spirit. That's what we always call it, just a nasty spirit. Because ugly on the inside, and sometimes that pretty on the outside is like when you ugly on the inside, that reflects. A beautiful woman with filler, 5 facelift and surgery. And I'm sure she uses tracks in that hair too. She be out here trying to lie and talk about, oh yeah, I got all this hair is mine. It's like, we know you got some weave up in there. Did somebody point that out that she was using like that she was wearing like pieces and things? It's like, girl, you ain't gotta lie all the time. Now, speaking of the housewives, let's get into this mess about Kim Zolciak allegedly hunching Chet Hanks. Is she divorced Croy yet? I mean, you're pretty much quiet as it's kept. Sucked all that money out of the man. So the least you could do was offer him a divorce. And have they moved out of that mansion? Because if y'all not paying y'all bills, how these old saltines get to stay up in there and they ain't been evicted? But y'all be quick to evict everybody else. So anyway, let's get into this. This white Jamaican and wig, because he liked to talk with a patois. So Kim and Chet basically hung out. They were hanging out at a Jelly Roll concert. Now I told you I worked his concert when he came to New York, the Beautifully Broken concert. That was a good concert. I'm not really familiar with a lot of Jelly Roll's music. I'm familiar with him, but I'm not really familiar with a lot of his music. But when I worked his show, I'm like, okay, this is a pretty good show. And he sings his ass off. He really puts on a show. So shout out to Jelly Roll. So the Don't Be Party alum took in a show with Chet, in addition to going backstage to meet Jelly, real name Jason DeFord, and his wife Bunny XO, as documented in their post on Wednesday. So now the question I'm wondering is, did they go together or did they just go separately, but they happened to run into each other while they were there? Or was this all a ruse because this is like, oh, well, we want to spark up rumors, because remember the rumor before that they were saying that there was some sparks that was flying because they did the Surreal, I almost said Celebrity Apprentice. I'm like, child, they ain't been on for years. They had did that show over there on VH1 where they was hanging out, The Surreal Life with Macy Gray and all of them. So Kim leaned her head against Chet in one smiling selfie while they swayed along to a song during Jelly's performance in a brief video. The reality star shared a video of her meeting Jelly, who's 39, and proudly introducing Chet to the Save Me singer. Yeah, let me show you this, because one person has got a set of teeth that's real and the other one does not. Can y'all guess whose teeth is real and whose isn't? Shout out to the veneer crew. Kim, you look like you got damn chiclets in your damn mouth. So nice to meet you. Thanks for having me. I love your wife. Huge fan. Kim gushed after hugging Jelly. Then introduced the white boy summer rapper. Not white boy summer rapper. Chet out here rapping. How about I never heard his music? Saying, this is Chet, my friend. The Wild One singer took his hand and shared, good to finally see you. Chet responded that he was still living in Nashville, Tennessee when asked by the CMA winner. Kim wrote in the caption of her post about how she's had so much fun with Chet at the show. She added, one of my absolute favorite concerts, and everyone that was/is part of this massive operation is beyond kind. There are no words for the happiness and joy that surrounded us all that night. And I will say this, the people that's working with Jelly Roll, I have to say, one of the things I love about Jelly Roll, like while on the exterior, he does look scary with the tattoos. And yes, he did spend quite a few years behind bars. I do love the fact that he has come out and showed that, you know what, you can go through some things in life and turn your life around and become a positive influence, not only on yourself, but the people around you. And that's why the fans gravitate towards him. So that's another reason why I think, like, to me, based off of the things I've seen with my own eyes and the overall vibe of being at a Jelly Roll concert, that he is a relatively good dude. And I like the fact that, you know what, he's independent. He's not caught up in this whole Hollywood zeitgeist matrix of BS. That's why, you know, kudos to him for calling out Charlie XCX and them trying to pull that little stunt where he was going to have the #1 album. And then you had the people on Charlie's team trying to find a way to cook the books. So that way he could become, she can get the #1 record. But look, Brat and then the Brat remix stalled at #3. It wasn't all, it may have been a Brat summer, but it wasn't on them charts. But anyway, so as I stated before, you know what, Kim and Chet met on The Surreal Life. They hung in Medellin, Colombia, back in 2023. They said they were flirting with each other. Who knows if they hunching? I actually hope that, well, if they are hunching, look, she and Croy are getting a divorce. They haven't, they filed the papers a year ago, and they've done it twice. They did it in May of 2023 and then again in August. I'm like, how many times y'all got to file for divorce in order for it to be, to be on, to be standing on that business? To me, it's like, okay, sign the goddamn papers already. Like, y'all don't love each other. She basically saw that man because she was just so happy that, she was just this old broke down housewife who, thanks to the Bravo show, was able to accumulate enough money to get a whole, become a build, get a, Bob the Builder type body, get a whole complete makeover, just surgery from top to bottom. Better wigs, new teeth, new titties, new ass, constantly in the office getting liposuction or all kinds of weird surgery because you ain't never seen Kim hit a gym ever in her damn life. And she even showed that on the show, how she don't hit the gym. She find ways of trying to maintain that body, any kind of any kind of little quick situation that she can use, she be using it. And Chet's a cutie, but if Chet got money, courtesy of his parents, and if y'all don't know, Chet Hanks is the son of Rita Wilson and Tom Hanks. So if she's thinking that she can get over there and try to suck out his coin, like she been doing, like she did to Croy, but basically saw him with all that ass and was like, you want to know something? I'm gonna suck him dry because at least he's on a football team. He was a part of the Atlanta Falcons. And then I'm gonna come in and be there, oh yeah, I made it. But Croy is no Tom Brady. Croy is no Travis Kelce. Croy is no Patrick Mahomes. Like, he was never on that level of football player. So she was just so happy that she had her little football player with a little coin in his account that she's like, you know what? I'm gonna just put this coochie on him. And it definitely worked because she's a lot older, he's a lot younger. And any kind of pussy that's gonna throw themselves in your direction, some of these boys get blinded, like Stevie Wonder. And she managed to get a bunch of damn kids out of them. and managed to suck him dry, and when all that well dried up, now she out here looking for her next grift. So I'm hoping and praying that this is just Chet having a good old time with her, and that there is no plans for you to get, well, at this point, I'm sure her being 46, pushing 47, or maybe she's 47, that them eggs is powdered at this point, that Kim can't be out here pushing no more kids. Because if that's the case, if she get pregnant by Chet, you know she's going to be trying to come for Tom money. And I know Tom ain't putting up with that, not with her. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are. Do y'all believe that Chet and Kim are an item? I just don't understand what the hell's taking her so long to get a damn divorce from Croy. Like, y'all don't love each other. Y'all are a mess. I don't even know if we'll see her back on reality TV outside of this show that she already did. But she always finds a way to be able to accumulate some coins. I know she probably still out here allegedly, gambling and things. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Sailor says, I hope he doesn't marry her because Tom was, well, that ain't happening. I don't even think that is that serious. They probably just, hanging out, and then he probably eat the box, throw up against the wall, give her a little uchiwali, and keep it moving. Yeah, Rita Wilson ain't having that. She's like, bitch, you better find somebody else to grift off of, because you ain't gonna touch my son. Because Kim is a whore, allegedly. Now, speaking of whores, let's get into this other Kim Kardashian. Who, congratulations, bitch, your ass is a baby mama. So Kim Kardashian is getting real about raising her 4 kids post-divorce from Kanye, basically saying that he's pretty much MIA when it comes to her raising them babies, in the words of my girl Mariah Carey, because she refers to the twins as them babies. So Kim got 4 of them, and you see them here. Money well spent on their body, though. So basically, according to Us Weekly, they said the following. They said, if you and I mostly connected on parenting, this is what Kim said began. And, she said during the Tuesday, November 12th episode of friend Zoe Winkler's What the Winkler podcast, and judgment and feeling like sometimes you're in this alone, even though we have great support systems and we have people around us. Well, I always say it always takes a village to raise a child. So even if the father is not in the picture, if you surround yourselves with a good enough amount of people, even like a couple of guys who are good, who could be role models for your sons, then this is why I always say, you know what, maybe if ever I decided to have children and I had the dollars, I would basically get a surrogate. And I'll be a single father. Like, I would be very much Ricky Martin in the whole situation. Not the ones that he had with Juwan, but the twins that he had, Valentino and Mateo, what he had earlier, which would be, I'm going to go down to the thing. I'm going to have my own kids with the surrogate, put in that money, and then I'm going to just raise them on my own. But I'm going to have a support system around me where that will help me raise the kids. So if I needed a woman to be that nurturing role model type for my sons, because I always feel like when you are a homosexual and you don't want to be in a relationship with a woman, like I would never put a woman in the situation where I would just have kids and then just be lying to her about the whole situation. I would rather be a single parent and then have women in my life, which I do, that would help me with that nurturing aspect that a mother would bring with a child. But I would be the father, and I would be the one laying down the law. But I would have women that's coming in the picture and other people that I would surround myself in regards of that. So Kim also noted that although she often struggles or feels overwhelmed, she does so silently in fear of outside reactions. But girl, if you sitting on and saying all this on a podcast, you don't think you're gonna get a reaction? Hence why we're talking about it here on this show. So she said, but sometimes in the middle of the night, when they're all sleeping in your bed, kicking you and crying and waking up, it's not something that I talk about a lot because I feel like there is always a lot of judgment, or people always will jump to the, but you have the resources to have nannies and to have help. And I think that no matter what kind of help I have, I'm basically raising 4 kids by myself. And people need to look at it from the context of like, yeah, y'all always look at it as a way of, oh, you're not relatable because you're rich, because you have a lot of money. So I'm gonna give her grace at this part, because it's like, at the end of the day, yes, she has the resources, she has the ability to have nannies to raise their kids. And sidebar, I'm sitting out here cackling at some of these heifers, these rich folks that was out here voting for Trump, right? Who's a little perturbed over the fact that, oh wait, I voted for Trump, but now I'm worried because of this mass deportation situation that my nannies are gonna probably be deported. Well, bitch, in the words of Anna Navarro, you better learn how to wipe your own kid's ass, because if it comes down to it, y'all need to figure out how you gonna raise your own children. But I do like the fact that Kim is someone who is very hands-on with her children. It's like, yeah, I have help, I have nannies, I have this, I have all these other things that's going to help me with this situation. But there's nothing like, if you are in a heterosexual relationship, now we're talking about the heteros, we ain't talking about the homosexuals, we're talking about the heteros. There's nothing like a mother and a father being there. And now that you know that Kanye, because she probably thought she was getting herself a Jay-Z in this whole situation, she was going to be like the grand darling of the hip-hop world when she got with Kanye, but didn't realize she married a madman. And now he's not in the picture. He's running around with droopy titties, Bianca, in all over the world, allegedly doing all the crazy things that all these people are accusing Kanye of doing. Because most recently, somebody said that he was walking around wearing a swastika shirt or something or another and was banging her out all loud in the other room. That's the latest allegations. I didn't feel like talking about all that. I'm just mentioning it in passing. But in regards to this whole situation, it's like, yeah, I totally get it, what she's talking about in regards to this. But sis, guess what? When y'all want to run around trying to incorporate and live, you want the black featureism, you want to go out and make yourselves over to look like a black woman with your ass, your thighs, your nose, and your lips, and your boobs. You want to sit over there and get your little, Negroidian makeover. And then y'all want to go with the black man because you feel like it's going to give you whatever. I don't know if it maybe y'all are attracted to black men, or you feel like that the way y'all move is going to give y'all some type of cachet in a lot of our spaces. Well, yeah, you can do all of that. You can have all of that. But guess what, sis? Congratulations. You're a baby mama at this point. You wanted to lavish and all that. You're going to get the good with the bad. So, yeah, you can hobnob with all the black folks in a lot of our spaces and incorporate a lot of our spaces, and quiet as it's kept, take a lot from black people and incorporate that into your brand, like Skims and things of that nature, allegedly, the allegations from the people. But you get that other side too. You a bona fide baby mama. Like Courtney, well, not Courtney. Courtney actually got her husband. Shout out to Travis Barker. But look at Chloe. Look at Kylie. Kendall ain't got no kids. And whoever, and all the other ones, I can't keep track. Look, Rob a baby daddy too, because he ain't married Black China. So, like I said, sis, congratulations, you're a baby mama. It's like, that's what you wanted. So while I empathize and understand the whole thing of like you raising the 4 kids by yourself and you want Kanye to be there and stuff, I feel no way sad about it. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Do y'all have empathy for Kim Kardashian? Because she out here with all that coin, she a billionaire and everything, and she raising them babies by herself, as she likes to say. Excuse me. Whatever your thoughts are, y'all know what to do. Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, now speaking of comments, ooh. But hold on. Felix says, speaking of Mariah, she has a Christmas special on Netflix. Does she? There's a lot of stuff going on Netflix. First of all, they also dropped Twisters on Peacock. I was like, finally, now I can watch it. It'll be a movie night for me tonight because I ain't going nowhere. I am working the UFC match tomorrow, so I know that's gonna be a long ass day. So I'm looking forward to that too. Sidebar, word on the street is our new president might show up again, so that'll be the second time I'm in there with Donald Trump. So, because he and Dana White are thick as thieves, so they're saying he might show. I know today is the weigh-in. Yesterday was the press conference, so it was chaos when I went to the Garden yesterday. Between that and then also we have the Rangers game, so it was a lot going on yesterday. And then tomorrow we have the UFC fight, and I know tonight Logan Paul's about to fight Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson had them old panties on. Did y'all hear the tea about Mike Tyson talking about how he had sex with a woman who had AIDS? I gagged when I read that. He said he don't got it, but the girl had it, and the guy and the person he had the threesome with had it, and they both passed away. He dodged a bullet. Shout out to Mike. I doubt Kim is doing much with her kid. Quiet as his kid. Look, even though I don't have much to drink in here, I'm gonna sip on this empty cup. Want a black man rhythm, but can't handle the blues. Oh, you know I say that all the time. Always want our rhythm, but can't take our blues. See, like a lot of these light-skinned and non-black women think they exempt because the colorist black men put them on pedals due to how they look. You better preach to the choir. He said, I feel no ways about this. Absolutely. Like I said, David, laugh. You have my number, bitch. First of all, how you asking me this in my timeline? And you talking about you joined Blue Sky. Yes, sir. I've been on Blue Sky. I joined Blue Sky the moment one of my friends, Corey, was talking about it. I was like, what is Blue Sky? I've been hearing a lot of people talking about it. I jumped on the bandwagon. I was like, and it's weird because y'all already know me. I'm the type of person that I'm real hesitant when it comes to joining. You see how long it took me to join Threads. But when it came to Blue Sky, for some reason, I was like, you know what? I don't know. For some reason, I just immediately jumped over there. And I think it's because Elon Musk worked my root canal nerve. So I was like, let me just go over there and do the whole thing. And look, the one thing I love about Blue Sky, they allow the stuff on there. A lot of people are saying like, oh, I'm leaving. I don't know if I should leave Twitter because, you know, the reason why I really be on Twitter, which is like a lot of the reason. I'm like, hello, Blue Sky does allow it also. Because, yeah, my friend Boomer Banks had peen and booty hole and all kinds of stuff over there with his stuff. So yeah, they allow it. And then I had a couple of adult performers adding me on. I'm like, well, damn, how did people know that Chris Avalon was over here? But apparently they was adding me too. The ones I didn't even know that was doing the stuff. So yes, I joined Blue Sky. It's the Chris Avalon. You can add it if you want. But I'm over there. But yeah, I noticed like my situation was going up. And I kind of like it so far. I'm still with the Twitter. I am going to leave it soon. But it's just, I'm slowly trying to detox myself from that. I'm just dealing with trying to see like if Blue Sky is going to get better. I'm going to keep both for now. But, you know, because media and I'm always posting things up on there, I'm sticking with both for now. But my thing is I don't really engage with people on Twitter. I just post my stuff up there and I'll go about my business. I don't really be engaging like a lot of people. And we're going to get into a story coming up about people who are leaving Twitter because the list has been growing. A lot of celebrities been leaving. Yes, I think everyone in here right now. Yeah, let's say like it's a lot of people. I don't know. I think it was because of the whole Elon situation and then I found out that who was it? Jack Dorsey? Is he the one that owns Blue Sky? But so I started hearing people about Blue Sky and stuff, and I was like, okay, now if the guy who used to own Twitter, now owns Blue Sky, let me jump on there and see what's the take. You said my neck, my back. Yes, I do. My neck, my back, my pussy, and my crack. Well, look, same shit, different toilet. But I was like, I don't want to. Yes, Jake Paul. I don't know if I care enough to watch it. I just have them give me the highlights. I watch the clips or whatever, but I just don't care about wanting to watch that whole live on Netflix. Maybe I'll give it a gander. I don't know. The Christmas special is her full show from Madison Square Garden. Oh, from last year. And that was another thing, too. Like, I had a couple of my coworkers, I was like, I'm shocked that she's not doing Madison Square Garden this year. Like, she did it last year. She should have did it this year. So I don't understand why she didn't do it this year. She's doing, I think, Nassau Coliseum. She's doing a bunch of other places, but she's not doing, chill. You know, he a Trump supporter, so you might want to retract that. It's a Logan Paul is the one doing the lunchly stuff with Mr. Beast. Okay. Not Jake is the slow one. Who moved to Puerto Rico, but you got a problem with Puerto Ricans, right? Mm-hmm. I know what you meant. Pedestals. You know what? I don't understand what made me join Threads. Threads is so boring. Like nothing really goes on over there. But Blue Sky is lit. Like I was on there, I was like, I like a lot of the stuff on there. Oh, and I just had to figure out the way. Well, thanks to Robert, he showed me how I can go into my, the thing and allow the adult stuff to come through. But I couldn't do it on my phone, so I had to do it on my laptop. So now I'm getting all the stuff. Shout out to y'all who out here showing peen and hole and things over there on Blue Sky. They said you can even block Mac. Oh yeah, I've got all that stuff blocked. So none of that is coming through. So that's why I like is that the difference between Blue Sky and Twitter is that you can block all that negative stuff from coming through. I don't want to deal with all of that. So anything that has any kind of certain words or whatever, I have all that blocked over there. I'm literally living in a bubble over there on Blue Sky. And it said, yeah, I mainly use Twitter to promote my remix. That's what it says. Like, that's all I use it for. I don't engage with people. I don't comment. Some people will comment on certain things and I'll comment back. But for the most part, I don't really engage on Twitter. I just use it to post my website stuff. And a lot of the traffic that I get on my website comes from Twitter. That ain't the number one. Facebook is the number one. And then I have like Twitter and when people actually just Google schmoogle, that's all the way at the bottom. But for the most part, it's like Twitter and and all the other websites is where people go and they look up my stuff. It said, plus we have to file a lawsuit in Texas due to Elon forcing it there. That's why we're leaving. Wait, what happened? There's a file a lawsuit for what? It's like in Texas due to Elon forcing. Are they trying to move? I feel like they're saying they're trying to move a lot of stuff out of Washington to move to these no man land type spots like Texas. It said, look, he was out here, and then you had Sylvester Stallone out here basically comparing Trump to George Washington. So they both got wooden teeth. Is that where the comparison is? And then call them Rocky in regards to his resilience. Now, I will give him this. He may be lazy and everything else, but he has been real resilient in regards to running for president. It is so like you got beat down and then he climbed that them stairs in Philly and he made it. So he said the Creep Tape series is live on Shudder. Oh, I may have to look into that too. There's a lot of stuff coming out. Okay, so what's the next story? And how many more topics we got left? Well, we got quite a few. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Miss Hannaford, who is out here, was in Saudi Arabia yesterday, and she was performing. So, we always sit up in here and focus on the negative, but I'm about to be positive in this situation. See, I could do both sometimes. I'm not going to be a, shady boots every time we get up in here. When we come to talking. So, yeah, she was razzling dazzling. She looked good. She performed her ass off. And this is why I always said about Hannaford. You may not like, we always hear the jokes about her and the Ashanti vocals and about she's not the greatest singer. And here's the thing. I do not go to Miss Hannaford Lopez for Adele-style vocals. We know she's a showgirl. I just wish she would know that and realize that, she has her limitations. She's not the best singer in the world. She can carry a tune. And she's a pop star. And I feel like this is what she needs to do to keep this whole situation going if she wants to get people back in the good graces of wanting to see her tour or whatever the case is, if she's really serious about the music. So Hannaford put her divorce drama with Ben Affleck behind this week as she put on a show in Saudi Arabia. The 55-year-old dancer was seen on stage at the RHOA season for the 1001, I hope I said that right, the 1001 seasons of Elie Saab. In a video shared to Instagram, the diva from the Bronx was seen in a low-cut silver leotard over tights with high-heeled boots. Her hair was worn down as she belted out her songs with backup dancers during the event in Riyadh, which was also attended by Celine Dion. So Celine Dion also performed. She performed 2 songs, and Celine looked fabulous. Not only that, but she sang, everybody was saying like vocally, she sounded amazing. And some people, haters, was all over social media saying that she was lip syncing. Now, first of all, what y'all not going to do is play my girl Celine face. She don't need to lip sync, unlike some of y'all faves. Celine could just go and put out a note and gag all of y'all, just with one little sound coming out of her mouth. So what y'all not going to do is play my sis Celine face. So they also said at one point, Lopez even twerked and shook her butt. She's always shaking her ass. That's kind of like what she does, which the crowd went wild for. Now, Lebanese couturier Elie Saab staged a fashion show celebrating 45 years of his maison. I didn't even know Elie Saab was around for that damn long. But you know what? A lot of these designers have been around for a long period of time. And so, yeah, that's the outfit that she was wearing. Look at her. Mama is snaps. So say what y'all want about Hannaford. You know, she's in her mid-50s, always looking good, and she's a showgirl. So I kind of feel at this point, maybe she needs to go back to doing a residency, because that would probably work for her, to get people kind of like back into her situation, and then she could probably do a arena tour. I don't know. I have to ask y'all. Do y'all think that she has what? Would y'all go see her at arena tour? Because look, y'all ain't go see the last one. We're about to get into that one because she recently went on Graham Norton's show, where it was like you know what? I love you, Graham Norton, but why you always be having like 12 people on your show and y'all try to squeeze all of them on the couch? And you know how big Dwayne Johnson is. He take up half the couch with his size alone. And you had all of them squeeze up in that damn couch and had Hennifer in the middle while they were sitting there talking about all their projects. Because, you know, Dwayne in that new Christmas movie that's going to flop at the box office is no shade. I'm just saying, ain't nobody going to the movies to watch that movie. It's about to grow $250 million budget, and it's going to gross $30 million at the box office this weekend. That's a flop. But anyway, they said it was inspired by Arab tales of 1001 Nights, which was reinterpreted through Saab's distinct vision, according to Vogue. The pieces were also styled by Karine Rotfeld, founder of the editor-in-chief of CR Fashion Book. Now, Lopez was also seen in a black gown as she posed with Dion. This comes after Lopez hailed canceling her 2024 summer tour the best thing she'd ever done. Now, the singing actress pulled the plug, as y'all remember, on her This Is Me live shows just week before they were due to begin in June. And though she had apologized to fans, she said she doesn't regret taking a break from work to spend quality time with her 16-year-old twins, Max and Emmy, who she shares, of course, with ex-husband Mark Anthony. And sidebar, shout out to Mark Anthony, who was at the Latin Grammys last night and performed with La India, you know, and the whole, you know, that revitalizing salsa music. Because, you know, I know a lot of people feel away, but he is the king of salsa at this point. Like, Mark Anthony, that is his staple. That's his little ground of work that he does. And him coming out with La India, and they was up in there, you know, singing their ass off. Shout out to them. So, and then, you know, we already know the whole thing with Ben Affleck. We don't need to get in that. So now on to the Graham Norton situation, which I side-eyed when I heard that clip. I kind of wish I had the clip on me so I could show y'all wait, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. And hopefully I don't get in trouble for posting it on here. Hold on. J-Lo, Graham Norton. I want to see if I can play it and I don't get in. Oh yeah. We're showing it to y'all because what's on the BBC? Hopefully they don't get me for showing y'all this clip. So let me show y'all what she basically said, and then we will come back with the rest of the show. Okay, so okay, I was like, almost I had to put the microphone back to the mouth. Don't forget. So yeah, there was the clip. But child, you already know the people's like, girl, that was not the reason why you canceled. You canceled because nobody was buying tickets to your show. There were low ticket sales, and that's basically what happened. So, and then also I think she was there to promote Unstoppable because right next to her on the couch was Jarrell Jerome, who plays her son in the movie. And I like Jarrell Jerome. So, what they will say? Oh, they said in a Live Nation newsletter, she basically said that she was heartsick and devastated from letting the fans down. Please know that I wouldn't do this if I didn't feel that it was absolutely necessary. She said she'll promise that she'll make it up to you and we will be together again. And the full interview basically, I think, comes out, well, it said on Friday night. So I think that's today that the whole full interview comes out. So if y'all want to see the full interview, then I'm sure it'll end up somewhere. I think because I have Philo, I do get BBC, so I do get Graham Norton show. So I may watch the full one. I don't know if they actually put the whole ones up on YouTube or whatever. But here's the thing. One of the things I will say this, say what you want about Hennifer, and I have, believe me, if you watch this show, y'all know. Yes, she doesn't have the most spectacular voice, but the one thing I've noticed that Hennifer focuses on, which is her strengths, is the fact that she is someone who is a dance diva. You know, she's a dancer, but she also thrives in the dance pop world. She also being Puerto Rican is a plus. So she can bring those Mediterranean Latin rhythms, all the other stuff to her music that will make her stand out from her other contemporaries. I don't know why she doesn't focus on that. I feel like so many times she be trying to focus on, oh yeah, I can do a little yang yang. Y'all be out here saying I can't sing and all this other stuff. It's like, girl, you don't need to prove nothing to nobody at this point, you kind of do, because you've allowed your film career and everything else to excel over your music. Your music, yeah, you throw it out here, but it feels like it was a hobby in so many ways. It doesn't feel like it was literally something that you gave 110% to. Maybe you did whenever it was time to come out and make a music video, or you be in the recording studio putting the songs together. But to me, it's like you've pretty much put your movie career and everything front and center, and you really haven't centered yourself in regards to the music. So if the rumors are true that you are working on new music and you do plan on doing more live performances, I feel like this is a prime example where you need to remind people on why you are that girl when it comes to giving it on the stage. I can't take it away from Hennifer that she is an impeccable live performer, but she needs better songs. So hopefully her team and everybody is looking for some producers and some songwriters that she maybe 1 or 2 songwriters that she can work with that can help her be taken seriously as a pop artist, because you are a legacy act at this point. And maybe even though if her music and stuff doesn't sell, like she could take those songs on the road and she could definitely make money. Like you could put yourself in a situation like a Justin Timberlake or an Usher, where it's like you can't, if you start putting together your set list and the tour and let people inside of what's going on with that. And then you have a couple of those new songs and you just kind of drop them out here and there. And there's more of an up-tempo approach. Like similarly, like to me, my favorite Jennifer Lopez album was, okay, you give me my pop star life. Love ? I love that record. There's a lot of bops on that album. And a lot of those songs like definitely feels like it's very much got this whole Mediterranean, very much hanging out on the yacht or on the beach, like very much that vibe of music. And I feel like she needs to get back into that. Not everybody out here need to be Adele. Not everybody out here needs to be somebody that needs to be taken serious as a pop star. Sometimes I want to just take my mind on some stuff and just be in the moment and have a good time and not have to worry about what's going on out here in these good old streets. So good luck to you, Miss Hannaford. I hope you figure out how to revitalize or revive your music career, because sis, you definitely could use some little help. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Would y'all be excited to see Jennifer Lopez on tour? Because here's the thing. While she sat up in there and said that foolishness over there on Graham Norton, child, we know the tea. I know you stubbornly probably didn't want to give it up, but y'all were losing money. And the tickets wasn't selling. So, and I think it was because of This Is Me Now. People did not want a tour of you promoting that music, because nobody listened to the record. We don't want to see it live either. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so we have you said not performing or performing. I know what you mean. Was that a read? It was. Hold on. Okay, you said Cascada is coming to Webster Hall next month with the Studio 54 tour, and Gwen Stefani is doing a one-off show in Brooklyn. Damn, there's a lot going on. And I like Cascada. Every time we touch, I get this feeling. And a lot of that, they music be sounding. The only problem with Cascada is like it did sound like y'all would just use the same beat on every damn song, though. But I'm sure that would be a fun show to watch. Is that I need to hear that Studio 54 tour. Or the Studio 50 with the Studio 54 album, because I think it's like an album of covers, right? You say he isn't a straight man. Who we talking about? She needs to perform in smaller places like Irving Plaza or Webster Hall. I agree with that. Like I feel like at this point, but I feel like her ego won't allow it. I do feel like Jennifer Lopez needs to humble herself and realize that you have not put in the work to as a how I know the fan that hugged is a homosexual. Like, child, I could tell that the first time I watched the video, I was like, we know she a queen. Shout out to the British queens. I like them too. I do feel like she needs to do smaller venues, and I feel like that just needs to be because you've got to work up getting back into the good graces of the people and getting them to trust the fact that you can give them the type of show that they want, because she's never really given like a proper tour except for her It's My Party situation, which was when she turned 50, she did this whole arena tour, whatever, and it was successful. And I think it was because that was the theme and that was the thing. It's like, oh, it's Jennifer Lopez turning 50, and it's a milestone, and the fans, I guess, wanted to be there to see it at that part. Now, I don't know, because I wasn't working at the Garden and all this other stuff at the time, so I don't know if she was selling like gangbusters, but I'm sure it was a successful tour. Now, but throughout her career, she would put out albums, she would drop songs, she would do a little live performance here, there, and everywhere, or a concert special, but she wasn't out here touring like Beyonce or Taylor Swift or Madonna or Kylie Minogue. She wasn't out here touring like these other girls. She would put out music, and then because it was Jennifer Lopez, she thought that y'all would just go out and buy it, but she wasn't touring. So you got to prove yourself in this touring space, because that's where the coins is. So I do feel like she's got to do smaller venues, and if her ego is bruised by it, oh well. Oh wait, I do remember that she did do Madison Square Garden, because when we had to do there was like some training situation that we had to do. They did show a clip of Jennifer Lopez doing her concert at the Garden, and I think this was around the time that we had a blackout in New York, and they had to evacuate the building, and people was up in here saying all kinds of stuff. Oh, there was smoke, and it was that, and they were like, the security was like, none of that happened. These are people that just was getting on the news and sensationalizing everything, but that's not what happened, and they told us the tea or what actually happened. So, in regards to all of that, so I think that that show did really well and stuff. And I'm sure she would do gangbusters in New York, but Jennifer need to, she's definitely got to prove herself to get people to want to spend money. And for what a lot of people were saying from the This Is Me live tour, they were like, first of all, girl, the juice is not worth the squeeze. Like, I'm not spending $2,000 to see you in a concert when you don't be giving it how they feel like a Beyonce or these other girls would give. Like, when I go, I know what to expect when I go to these concerts. I just feel like people were not willing to try to spend that kind of money, especially on that new album when nobody liked it. Benny Medina is beating the crap out of a dead horse. I'm surprised that Jennifer is still working with Benny. I mean, Will Smith, that was his manager once upon a time, and he dumped him eons ago. So I don't even understand, like, why she's still loyal to him. But I remember, wait a minute, once upon a time she did fire him. That was around the time when she got with Ben Affleck. And then I guess he addressed his disdain, and then Jennifer basically dropped him, I think, at the request of Ben, and then her career kind of stalled. And she hired him back. So maybe they belong together. They belong together. So maybe they belong together. Where it's just like, Jennifer and Benny get each other, so they need to stay together. And in account of that, she's trying to ride off Beyonce's success. Child, what did happen to Music Soul Child? I like Music Soul Child. Whatever happened to him? They closed the Palladium and other venues because of hooligan rap. And funny enough, some people, like, I was talking to one of the security guards because we did like a J-pop, not K-pop, a J-pop. So it's like Japanese pop, similar to K-pop, but it's not because it's Japanese. But anyway, so I did a J-pop concert, and I remember that we had one of the security guards. He was like, they should do because it was real in the theater where we're doing Annie next month. He was saying, oh, they should have like rap concerts and stuff in here. Why nobody wants to sit and do a rap concert? I was like, yeah, you could fit like 5,000 people in this room. So that would be cute or whatever. But I feel like probably what you said in this comment is probably why they won't do it. So y'all could do the venues. So it's about, hooligan rap fans. So people acting a fool at these places. But it's weird because the rap concerts I've worked wasn't really bad. Like, well, I guess the only rap concerts I really worked was Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion. And you already know what you're getting when you go to those concerts. You getting women with their boyfriends and the homosexuals. So that's what you're getting. So it won't be as bad in there versus like what you saying, hooligan rap fans. that would go to the mother concerts. Oh yeah, so he was her child. We got a story about Tyra Banks coming up, so stay tuned for that. But before we get to Miss Tyra, let's talk about Lil Nas X. I don't know if y'all heard his new song. It's called Light Again, and it was produced by one half of Daft Punk. So shout out to him, because I said, you know what? When I heard the song, I was like, what is this song giving? I saw like the little clip or whatever where he was teasing the song during the week, and then he dropped the video today. Not to say, I was thoroughly impressed with the video, and I liked the song. And I said this from the beginning. Didn't I tell y'all that Lil Nas X need to leave the hip hop alone and kind of go more into a hyper pop, dance pop type of vibe, that's the direction he should go into? And from what I've been hearing with him is that when he moved to New York, I'm like, child, he give me Brooklyn hipster tees. That's basically what that whole vibe of that video was going to give me. Because I was like, if there's anything, if any kind of artist is going to move to New York, where it's really popping in regards of creativity and artistry is Brooklyn. So, and I feel like that's what happened, because that video was giving me Brooklyn. So they said earlier, shout out to Stereo Gum for this story. So they said earlier this year, Lil Nas X leaked Light Again on his SoundCloud with an apology to his label. Now, a couple of days ago, he announced that the track is getting an official release and caused some drama along the way by ripping off artwork by an artist I actually like, by the way. I don't know if y'all heard of him, but he's Sega Bodega. He's like a real underground type of artist. I like Sega Bodega stuff. He is in the same vein of, like, speaking of hyperpop. He kind of does that type of genre of sound as well. So they said, so Nazi wrote the following. He said, it just dawned on me how lucky I am to have you and still fuck with me. This is what he wrote. Because I know it isn't always easy. Dream Boy isn't just an album. It's me coping with the loss of what once was and fighting for a new world. I'm so excited to bring you on the journey. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the tea and regarding like the Sega Bodega situation, whose real name is Salvador Navarrete, he took to Twitter to point out similarities between the Dream Boy artwork and the artwork for Navarrete's 2021 single, Angel on My Shoulder, suggesting that Nazi may have plagiarized his work. Now, of course, you know I come with a receipt. So this is the picture. So obviously you can see on the left is the one with Lil Nas X, and on the right is the one with Sega Bodega. And the funny thing, when I was looking at the video, I was like, sir, you are way too young to be having all these little visuals up in your video, like the old school computer, which my father had one of those when we were growing up, and then the little flip phone and all that. So I'm like, so y'all are giving a nod to the 90s when you were born in the 90s, or was it the 2000s? Or probably late 90s, early 2000s. And it's like, y'all don't know nothing about this era, but y'all up in here giving, incorporating a lot of that visual in your music video. So Sega said the following. He said, not even trying to put a spin on it is where I'm like, yeesh. This is what Sega Bodega wrote. He said, now, when one fan acknowledged that Lil Nas X had posted an Instagram story earlier that day, showing Navarrete's artwork as a reference, but with no explicit credits, Navarrete responded, look, he did credit you in a photo that will disappear in 24 hours forever and no name whatsoever of artist or photographer. Be grateful you lot sound insane. I feel like there was some sarcasm in what he had said. And I kind of agree with that. And this is what I told y'all. This is the same thing that pisses me off with a lot of y'all who do apologies, but you do your apology in your damn story. So you do it so it lasts for 24 damn hours. And then once the 24-hour period is over, it's never to be seen again. So if a tree falls in the forest and no one is here to hear it, doesn't make a sound. That's what it gives me when y'all do these whole Instagram stories with referencing things. And if you are going to reference my artwork and you're going to take inspiration from it, at least tag me in my ish. Shout out to my friend David Laugh, because he always be saying that. I don't know if he's still in the room, but he always be saying that. It's like, yeah, y'all don't run me, you don't tag me or run me my credit in regards to the stuff. If I'm doing work for you or if I've inspired you in some sort of way, at least it does not hurt to credit the person who inspired you. We're all inspired by something. Nothing is new under the sun. So we all find inspiration in things and should give people credit when it comes down to the situation. Now let's speak about the song. So now I do like the song because it's got like a dance vibe to it. And I love Daft Punk. So while everybody wants to sit up in here and talk about the debut album Homework, my favorite Daft Punk album is Discovery. I love the sophomore album. And I like all the other stuff that they've done. When they went into like more of a electro rock type of sound, that was the third album. But Discovery will always be my favorite because it's sort of like that French house type vibe, and they were like dabbling into other different genres. Homework is a little too artsy for me, and I have to be in the mood to listen. It's like listening to Radiohead. It's like I got to be in the mood to listen to Homework. But and there's parts of Homework that I actually love. Like I love Love Is in the Air. I love all the other songs. You know, I love some Around the World. I love a lot of the songs and stuff that's on that record. But for the most part, Discovery is my favorite Daft Punk record. I don't even like the last one they did with, what was it? What was the last one called? With Pharrell. I didn't particularly care for that album. But it's grown on me over the year. When I first heard this record, I'm like, what is this? I didn't really care for it. Maybe it was because I wasn't ready for it. But now listening to the new album, I actually like it. But as far as like the song, I do love this new song. And I hope that this is the direction that Lil Nas X is going into. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, you could dabble in hip hop and do all that other stuff. But I feel like what Lil Nas X is a pop star. He's not like Lil Boosie. Like, he's not giving us that with his music. Random Access Memories. Thank you. Because I was like, I totally forgot what the name of that album was. And I was like, I don't care. But I do like this song. And I'm looking forward to hearing what's the rest of the music. And I have to tell you, I'm not really a big Lil Nas X fan. I don't like any of the other previous stuff he put out. But now that you're kind of coming in my wheelhouse, I feel like his rap works for the type of music that I particularly care for. Now, the question remains, because, you know, you had Miss Yuckmouth, Azealia Banks, running her damn mouth to my he fell off. Okay, Azealia, this your move. He played a chess move on you, and you talking about you got new music coming out. So what's good, Miley? Not that I care or what she puts out now. If she does put out a song, I'm gonna listen to it and I'm gonna give my comment because, you know, music person. But for the most part, I'm definitely liking what Lil Nas X is putting out so far. So I ask all of you this. What did y'all think of Light Again? Have you heard the new song? What did you think of the song? Are you liking it? Is it a yay or nay? Did you see the video? What are your overall thoughts? Do you like this direction that Lil Nas X is going into, and should he stick with that? I would definitely love to see him and Troye Sivan do a tour together. Or Quiet As It's Kept, I would love to see Lil Nas X not only reach out to a lot of these rappers like Miss Mamas was saying that he should have. Like, I would love to see a collaboration with him and Cakes the Killer. Cakes the Killer is like one of my all-time favorite queer rappers. There's so many others, but he is one of my top favorite. Like, anytime Cakes the Killer drop a song, Chris is gonna listen to it. So I would love to see him bring out artists as his opening act and have them out on a tour with them. But I'll also see him do something with Troy or somebody of that ilk. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Driver C said J-Ho could sell out MSG if she opened up for Saucy Sands. No, child. How many damn songs Saucy got? Child, he couldn't even open up a parking lot. And they said, I love Homework and Discovery. Discovery is my top 10 of all time. Yeah, I was gonna say, I love Discovery more than Homework. I mean, I like Homework, but Discovery is actually, I put it above that one. They said, if he can get Daft Punk to produce a whole album, electro rap. Yeah, I kind of like that whole vibe of like an electro rap type of vibe. They said, if he can do something like what Troy did with one of your girls that gags the gays, he'll have a hit on his hands. I hope so. Oh, I didn't know he put out a song. I listened. Yeah, he put it out today. Because, you know, the people stay on. You know, I stay on it when it comes to stuff. Bitch, you. I got $20 for being a good sport. Well, y'all already know what to do. Send me some coins. Give me money, honey. You know, all this work I be putting into this show. Y'all can send some to the collection plate. Look, I ain't too proud to bet. Just like you know, the church people be out here trying to suck out some money, you know, suck all our money and put it in the collection plate. Be sure to do that. There's no pressure. I'm just saying. But thank you, driver seat. Love, love, love the coins. And so I haven't liked Lil Nas X. Exactly. I'm not a big Lil Nas X fan. I don't like the music. I know, shout out to DJ Baker, but, you know, because he does the weekly top 40 and that whole situation, he's very much on it with the out music and stuff. I know he goes hard for Lil Nas X. I still don't see it. Yeah, he cute. Yeah, he got body. Yeah, I would not kick him out of bed if the opportunity presented itself. And I know he got a big one. But, I mean, it doesn't matter to me because I'm a top. I ain't like it's going in my behind. But I put my mouth on it. Anyway, so I like the idea of Lil Nas X, but I haven't liked any of his music until I heard that new song. Then I'm like, okay, now you talking. Now you talking my language. Okay, so we have, how many more topics we got? 5. We have 5 more topics, so we're almost at the end. So before we get to those topics, if you can do me a solid, please hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also, be sure to smash that notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Please and thank you. Okay, so now let's get into America's Next Top Model because, you know, there is a new show that's coming out. Well, I didn't even know this thing existed. But there's a show called on Vice, a documentary series called The Dark Side of Reality TV. I need to find a way to watch this. I don't know if it's on any of the streaming services. If it is, definitely let me know which one. So that way I can try to look it up and check it out. Oh, wait. I think if it says it's on Vice, I think I have Vice on Philo. I need to look that up so that way I can watch it. And I think it comes out on the 17th. Wait. I think I have to look it up to see what day it comes out. I think it's in the article. Shout out to the Jasmine brand because they're the one that brought this up. Oh, they said November 19th. So that's next week. So I got plenty of time to go look it up on Philo and see if it's there. So they said in a teaser for the upcoming episode out November 19th, former ANTM contestant Lisa D'Amato from season 5 and also the 17th All-Star season tearfully recalled her experience of being on America's Next Top Model. Now, I do have the clip courtesy of the Jasmine brand, as I said. So we're going to play that and then we'll talk. Please.
America's Next Top Model squashed my dreams. Made everybody around the globe hate me. Also made me hate myself for years.
When they come off the show, we don't give a shit. We don't care what they do. They get on with their life. We get on to the next episode. So there is no follow-up and there is really no care factor, I guess, from the executive team or from the network to follow up with these girls to see how their careers are going.
They don't care if you live or die. Afterwards, they don't care.
Dark Side of Reality TV, new episode Tuesday at 9 on Vice.
America's.
Okay, so there it is. And you know what? This makes me think also, let's go back to this conversation about Leah McSweeney and how there's this reality TV reckoning with Bravo, where we talked about earlier in the show that she went to court yesterday and she had the Andy and them lawyers up in there while she was up in there and they was talking and trying to see if she has a case or they're going to throw it out. And it's sort of like, yeah, they put you on this show where, you know, people join these type of shows where they just want an opportunity to have some sort of success, to be able to get up there and just change, you know, have a life-changing moment. And then you go on these shows and it's like, oh yeah, we have these contestants, we can give a good goddamn about them, we just going to chew them up, spit them out, kind of like how the business pretty much is. So we're not going to follow up on these girls and see, like, you know, with all the stuff that they have them going through, that is, you know, how are they doing? How have they been holding? How's their life changed post the show? And you had a producer up in there saying, like, yeah, we didn't give a fuck about these girls. So, you know, with no kind of regard of what they was going on and stuff. And so it kind of makes me wonder about that with them as well. It's like, they don't care about these people. All they care about is doing what they got to do, to make sure that we get a show, to make sure that there's a moment in these shows where we can get that money shot, that we can have an iconic moment. And don't get me wrong, I was definitely out there watching America's Next Top Model when it was on. And I've noticed, like, over the years, there have been people who have kind of done these deep dives and have looked back on the show and have called the show out for a lot of things that they were doing on the show that was problematic. Especially when they were getting around to talking about how they would cut the girl's hair and those other stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's part of the modeling world. They was doing that to the girls where, oh, you gotta lose weight and you gotta change up your look and you gotta do all these other things. And that's what that show was. But also it's like it was a piece of the modeling world, but it was also a reality TV show. I'm not saying that Lisa D'Amato doesn't have a right to feel how she feels, but that was just the way the cookie crumbled, unfortunately. And I saw a picture recently of Jay Manuel. That man looked the same. He has not aged at all. He still look good. The body is right and tight. He's still walking around with that platinum blonde hair, I guess, because that's his signature. Also, I seen Nigel Barker. Nigel Barker, yeah, he's aged a little bit, but he still look good too. Tyra Banks, I seen y'all was reading her down to the floor because, you know, when she performed at the Victoria's Secret fashion show, and she was looking like, you know, like she gained a lot of weight, which I can understand because she is busy being a mother and she's not in the spotlight as much. And I like Tyra, but then when you start hearing stuff about her over the years, I'm like, who was the worst one? That was just a nightmare to work with. Was it her or Naomi Campbell? It kind of makes me wonder. But yes, I am definitely going to check out this show when it airs on Vice next week. It said that it aired from 2003 to 2018. And, you know, I'm hoping, look, no shade, but I wonder if somebody asked me one time, would they ever come out with a Surviving Drag Race? Quiet as it's kept. I wonder if y'all would do the dark side of reality TV, the drag race version. I do wonder if that will ever happen. Because we've heard, like, while there's a lot of people that praise Drag Race for being revolutionary in so many ways, there are people who talk about their bad experiences. So yeah, I'm giving y'all an idea over there, advice. Do Drag Race next. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are regarding this whole situation, were you a watcher of America's Next Top Model? Do you agree with what Lisa D'Amato had to say in regards to that whole situation? And then on top of that, I'm definitely curious to see what other people from the show that they talk to regarding their experiences on America's Next Top Model. So let me know what you guys think of this story. You want to be on top? In the comments down below. I don't know why I did that, but I just felt like doing. You want to be on top? Okay, so oh, you said, did I catch any of Oliver's live last night? Angela said it's coming out Tuesday. Oh, is it Angela or Angelia? I did not watch. I thought about watching his live, but child, I watched T.S. Madison going in on the situation. She was talking vague in regards to mentioning the name. The only one I know that mentioned the name regarding Oliver and being fake or whatever the case was, I did mention it earlier in the show, was Craig. And then I watched Wiggins' video, which had me cackling. He said, I don't like him. He was talking about how he's shaped. He was talking about how he's not attractive. Was going in. But okay, so you said Angelia was interviewed too. Oh yeah, and that was another thing that I didn't watch it because I felt like Oliver was taking too long to get to the damn point. Like, I get it, you were someone who worked behind the scenes and now you want to get in front of the camera, and I know the camera is tempting for a lot of y'all. However, it's no shade. But some of y'all do not have the wherewithal to get in front of a camera and really entertain people for a long time. Now, y'all know I be up on here 4 hours running my damn mouth, entertaining you bitches. I say bitches with love. But for the most part, it's like, not a lot of y'all have the bandwidth to get up here and entertain people in the way that they need to be entertained. Are you not entertained, in the words of Russell Crowe in Gladiator, which I need to rewatch that one before I go see the second one, because it's been a minute. But yeah, it's like, I don't want to be sitting around waiting for y'all to get to, like, child, get to the damn point. I don't want to have to wait a whole hour while you got these other people up here. And then they were saying that he was allowing T.S. Madison to be misgendered by one of the girls up there who kind of was giving man in the face. Why is it always the ones that look like y'all got a bit of testosterone in y'all body parts be the first ones to go in on the trans girls? I don't get it. So, you know, and the whole situation about, but you know, our mom was going in on Oliver and saying that he's fake. that he's not genuine in a lot of situations, that he's a gaslighter. That they were also saying, it wasn't just him, but TS, was like, we've had many conversations in private. If there was any kind of issue that we could have talked it out, we could have talked it out in private. And that's another thing that I don't like about people too, is that if you have an opportunity to speak to people, if you have my number, if there's some issue you have with me, bitch, hit me up on social, in private. You could DM me, you could text me. And let me know what the tea is. If you got a problem, don't sit up in here and then, you got a problem, and then when I ask you, is there an issue, is there something, you want to act obtuse? No, ain't no problem. But then you go on social media and you try some slick shit, or you go on your channel and you try to imply that I may have had something to do with them people money being taken, when I had nothing to do with it. Dominique allegedly going out here stealing people money from that organization. And they said, and you said, I've talked to several girls who were on the show. I talked to Lisa a few times. I talked to Angela a couple of times, and Brittany. I remember you telling me that. And you said, well, Tyra turned 50 recently. Yeah, but we've seen some people. We've seen Lenny Kravitz. Lenny Kravitz, 60 years old. Look at that body. Look at that body. Look at that body. Don't I look sexy? It's like some of them be meaning to keep it together. I don't think 50 got to do with anything. And look at Jennifer Lopez. She in her mid-50s. And gagging girls half her age with her body. And you said some of these talentless bros try to make it a business without having talent. Did Naomi Campbell have a surrogate? Yeah, she did. She has 2 children, so yeah, she had a surrogate. She wasn't pushing them kids out, and I believe Tyra had a surrogate too. Or I think she adopted. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Did anyone from America's Next Top Model succeed? Besides, no, it's kind of like, it's kind of like Drag Race. But then again, I can't do that to Drag Race because there's a lot of girls that come from that show that are very successful. Bianca Del Rio, she was successful in her own right, but she became even more successful because of the show. Like, she has sold out, comedy tours. Jinx Monsoon's about to do another Broadway show. So some of the girls, and Alaska's very successful. She's currently doing Drag the Musical with a couple of people from the Drag Race world. So there's a lot of the queens from the show that have been able to parlay success from that. But now that we can just get and talk about Tyra, I don't think that any of the girls outside of that show have been successful, except maybe Eva. But Eva, she's not that, even though we hear from her and she's been out here making a living in some way or another, she isn't as big as Tyra. I would say, we could say the same thing about Project Runway. Has there anybody that come out of Project Runway that has been the most successful? I think we can only name one, and that is Christian Siriano. He's the only one I can think of off the top of my head that has been the most successful in the world of fashion outside of Project Runway. But yeah, when you look at Tyra Banks gives me very much RuPaul, which is like, nobody's going to be as big as me outside of this. He said Jasleen and Danny Evans are 2 of the most successful girls for the show, and Takara. Compared to they've been steadily working, but I don't think that they're big names that people are still talking about in the modeling world, because all we hear about from the modeling world is a bunch of damn Nepo babies walking the runways. You said she adopted her son. Okay, so she adopted the kid, whereas Tyra had 2 surrogates. You said, okay, come on now. Jasleen, Takara, and Danny are still modeling. So is Cara D, but Cara D is a photographer too. Well, look, you got to get that coin how you can get it. Both situations. Okay, so now we was talking about everybody who's leaving Twitter, right? So now let's get into the story. So Stephen King, there was a story that came out that, earlier this week that Elon Musk had pretty much blackballed. I was going to say blackballed Stephen King, kicked him off Twitter because he had basically referred to him as the first lady. Now, I do have those pictures, and I was cackling when I saw it. But yeah, it's like, I was like, Chad, would you close? I was trying to pull this damn thing up. So yeah, we have, so Stephen King basically said that he wasn't kicked off, he left the Twitter because, like a lot of people said, it's too toxic. So he basically said, I'm leaving Twitter. This is what he said on Thursday night while referring to X by his old name. Well, child, I always dead name Twitter. I don't never call it X, except for what it was just said in the sentence. He said, try to stay, but the atmosphere has just become too toxic. Follow me on Threads if you like. Well, child, I need you to come over to Blue Sky because that's where everybody's going at this point. Blue Sky is lit. You can post pictures on it. You can leave comments. You can do all kinds of stuff. It's literally Jack Dorsey, I believe, owns it because he gave up Twitter and now he's over there on, the other site, which is way better. And plus, you could block out words like if you don't want to get anything about Donald Trump and all this other stuff, whereas Elon Musk has pretty much put a lot of money and power and influence behind Donald Trump winning his election with the misinformation and disinformation, all that other stuff. Definitely go over to Blue Sky. Plus, you can post news and stuff over there. You can post thirst traps. You can do all that stuff over there. So basically, Blue Sky is the old Twitter before Twitter became the no man's land of filth. So King's Twitter account, which has 7 million followers, was still active on Friday morning. Others who have announced their departure recently, like MSNBC's Joy Reid, have deactivated their accounts. The day prior, the author, who also joined the exodus of Hollywood stars leaving the platform, dispelled speculation about Musk kicking him off Twitter after he made a joke about the billionaire's friendship with President-elect Donald Trump. He said, I see there's a rumor going on around that I called Musk man Trump's new first lady. I didn't, but only because I didn't think of it, he wrote on Wednesday. He said, there's also a rumor going around that Musk kicked me off Twitter. He said, yet here I am. So that was a lie, and I'm glad it was debunked because I was hearing that from a lot of people, and I will admit that I ran with that as well. So now he's not, so now that's one of the pictures of Elon dressed as the first lady in a pink suit. Thank you, Stephen King, for calling Elon Musk the first lady, which he said that he never did. So a lot of people run around with that narrative. And so this is why y'all got to be careful. And I think those, when it comes down to situations where y'all be running around talking about people saying stuff with no actual proof. But I'm glad that Stephen King said that he never said it. So now King was referring to recent Musk memes, which are AI generated and depict the tech entrepreneur as Trump's first lady. According to the Daily Dot, the meme started after Musk was featured in a Trump family photo. They then gathered steam when a false rumor was spread that King had been banned from Twitter for referring to Musk as Trump's first lady. The writer has spoken out against the Tesla and, as we like to call him over here, Sissy SpaceX founder a number of times. Now, in the days before and after the Republican candidates win, he has repeatedly poked fun at Musk for supporting Trump. The day prior to announcing his departure, he shared a photo of his dog writing, Molly, aka the Thing of Evil, considers putting a bite on the Musk man. Now, they also said that, from what y'all need to realize, he said this month, he said the Musk man has posted 3,000 times on Twitter in the last month. Most are pro-Trump disinformation and outright lies. Remember, he has skin in this game. Consider his post accordingly. Now, King notes on his website that he is a Democrat and is open about his political views on the platform. We know that he's very political and very much outspoken in regards to that because I follow Stephen King. So I've been seeing all of that. He also has, for those of you who don't know and think like Stephen King ain't shit. First of all, Stephen King is someone who I love when they turn a lot of his books into movies. I also own a lot of his books, including like Christine, Carrie, The Shining, Firestarter, Cujo, or Kuho, as they say is the proper way you say it. So, I own a lot of his books. Also like a lot of his movies. We did a thing on here during the Halloween episode, which I need to cut up in regards of, my favorite my favorite horror movies, 100 favorite horror movies of all time. I got to cut that one up. And I need to cut up the one that I did on Stephen King and the top, what is it? It was like the top movie, books to movie versions that they made of his stuff that I actually like. So I got to do that too. So they also said that, look, he ain't the only one. Alyssa Milano was another one who left, and she said that she left yesterday. So yesterday was Thursday. So Alyssa going too, and who's 51, she announced that she was leaving, and she posted a screenshot of her deactivated account on Instagram, saying, goodbye, X, hello, Blue Sky. See, now she's smart. She went over to Blue Sky. And they basically said that is in reference to the competing social network Blue Sky, which recently became the top-ranked social media app on the Apple charts. So much so that I kid you not, Blue Sky was trending on Twitter. So whenever something's trending, Twitter actually puts it up there. So Blue Sky's over there doing what it does. And I'm hearing like Twitter's not even in the top 25 regarding like favored streaming, favored web platforms or whatever. So the Upstart service has gained an influx of at least 700,000 new users since the U.S. presidential election. This is according to The Guardian, who also announced that they quit Twitter. And she's not the only one, because my girl Jamie Lee Curtis also announced that she has left Twitter. She announced that she was leaving on Wednesday. Now, unlike some accounts and publications that have left Twitter after Musk took control of it, Curtis appears to have completely deactivated her account rather than leaving it up while ceasing to post. Curtis announced her news in an Instagram post featuring a screenshot that was apparently taken from her Twitter account on her phone, saying, "Your account is deactivated," it read, with "sorry to see you go, #goodbye" in smaller text at the bottom. Now, Curtis, who has been open about her past struggles with drug and alcohol addiction, quoted the Serenity Prayer in her caption. Of course, the one that I grew up always listening to and having in my room as a kid, which was, "God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference." We all know that one, because I think we've all pretty much said it. So the Halloween star didn't specifically say her reasons for leaving, but we all pretty much can guess why. And it's the whole thing of like, she is, an avid Kamala Harris supporter, regardless of how you feel in your politics. She is not a Trump supporter, all that other stuff. And she's like, I refuse to be a part of a thing where you had somebody who had a hand in trying to influence people in the election. And even down to the point of trying to talk about, you going to pay people, what do you say, $1,000? Or was it $1 million that if they voted for Trump? He didn't say that. There's also on Wednesday, Don Lemon announced that he would be leaving Twitter. Now, I don't know if he deactivated his account, but he did say, "I loved connecting with you all on X, but it's time for me to leave the platform." This is what he said. And, on the situation. And then, there was a station head where it was like for the Don Lemon show. I think I have that. Oh yeah, there it is. So he posted this, a whole statement on him leaving the Twitter. And so then, not only that, but I also heard today Gabrielle Union left Twitter. So there's so that list is getting longer and longer and longer and longer and longer in regards to the people that are leaving. So now they're saying this, and I think this is what was alluded to earlier. I think Robert brought this up. They said the site is following the path of many corporations enforcing users who try to take it to court to have their cases heard in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Texas or state courts located in Tarrant County, Texas. As the Washington Post recently reported on Twitter's decision to change its terms, this ensures that such lawsuits will be heard in courthouses that are a hub for conservatives, which experts say could make it easier for Twitter to shield itself from litigation and punish critics. He said, "I think it speaks for itself." So he's like, yeah, I'm not going to be a part of a thing. So if anybody says anything remotely critical of Elon Musk, now we got to go down to Texas to deal with this. And of course, they're going to side with him because the very people who agree with this agree with him. So there really is it's a waste of time. It's no debate. It's basically that Elon just want to be like Trump, where it's like, it's my way or no damn way. And that's not a fair trial, in my opinion. So I can understand if you, from a journalistic standpoint, that you would want to leave that alone. Now, Blue Sky can get to a point where I can link my website to it, and I can post my things there, as well as like my video clips and stuff. Like if they allow like long form videos, like where I can upload some of the clips of my show and stuff on Blue Sky, then I'd be down for, even though I am on Blue Sky, I'd be down for that even more. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Have you all left Twitter and gone on to other places? Like I've joined Threads, but Threads, I'm barely on it. Threads is meh to me. Like nothing's really going on over there. Just another wasted website that old boy that owns Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, that he created, that's just like, okay, this is stupid and it's not going to probably last long. But Blue Sky is definitely lit. Like I was over there and I'm like, I'm definitely starting to like this website. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay. Oh. You said X. Makes me think of the Junior Vasquez. So, oh yeah, I know he had that. Remember when he also went by LSD? And you said also ecstasy. Joy Breeder's gonna get fired for her comments. Wait, what'd she say? But if she leaves, she can go to Don Lemon route. And Don Lemon basically has created his own YouTube channel, and he does relatively well with his channel. I think people do super chats and all the other stuff over there. So that's a great thing about what Don Lemon is doing. And I know he was recently at this conference because he called into T.S. Madison's show. That's how I know about it. But I remember also he had mentioned he was going to it because I'll be watching his show sometimes, and he was talking about how he did he did a super chat. I mean, not a super chat. I'm thinking about the super chat because you sent me one. But I was sent one. But what was it? He went to this conference. I think it was a Spotify conference, and he basically was talking about how he was there, and it's basically a lot of influencers and stuff that's in there, and a lot of people were stopping him to take pictures, and a lot of these young kids were looking at him like, "Who the F are you?" And so I'm like, Don Lemon is a journalist. Like, he's somebody who's been in that space. So how you trying to act like, oh, y'all just doing some shit because you were an influencer? But Don Lemon is somebody who's was on national television. I heard Blue Sky's membership skyrocketed. They have almost 100 million members. I can't believe how fast I can't believe how quickly it blew up. And I don't even understand. Like, all of a sudden I noticed like people started talking about it. I'm like, what the hell is Blue Sky? I knew it sounded familiar, but I wasn't. And then all of a sudden it was like a lot of people started talking about it. I was like, okay, let me just give it a check. Let me give it a gander. I think when somebody told me you could put porn on there, that's probably what sealed the deal. I was like, oh, let me go over there real quick. So, oh, that's easy. Jealousy and projection. Okay. The ladies of The View, Joy Reid, and other super leftists are having a meltdown. They're acting up because voters made their own child. The View is a damn joke. I gotta give a shout out to a friend of mine, Dane, who put me onto these other shows because I was telling him that I was watching like Brian Michael Cohen, a bunch of all of them. But he was like, the real deal people, the real deal Holyfield, and these are some people, because I was looking for some people that really be spilling the tea, but are people of color. So I was like, he put me on a Sabby Sabs. I started watching her, and she was going in on Sunny Uppity Hostin, because I used to like her. Now I'm starting to like her uppity ass. She gives me like, you just so out of touch with a lot of, like, her and Kamala Harris are very very similar in a lot of how they thumb their nose up at people who don't follow what they follow. So Sabby Sam, she went in on Sunday when they was going in on her about what she tried to say that all the people that voted for Trump are racist and misogynistic. I feel like that's just like a broad blanket statement. I don't think everybody who voted for Trump is a racist and a misogynist. I do think that there's some in his party that are. I don't think all of them are. So to paint all of them as, oh, they just want to see a woman become president. I do think that we could get a woman president. They just didn't want those two. And Kamala wasn't really running on anything. You were running on some of the same vapid policies that Biden was running on. You even had his people from his cabinet running your campaign. You really weren't standing out amongst that. And I didn't want it. I don't think a lot of people didn't want this whole lesser than two evil situation. And it's like, oh, well, we know that he's he's been impeached and he's a felon and all that. That's not, people don't care about that. Not everybody's watching the news like that. And then she said some dumb shit talking about, oh, well, I know that a lot of people aren't able to sit and watch the news and stuff because people are working two jobs and they're trying to make ends meet. And the fact of the matter is rent is skyrocketing and people's groceries are too damn expensive. People are spending, like, if you got a family, you got a bunch of kids, it's sort of like you're spending $400 on groceries. Why are groceries that damn expensive for anybody to be buying? It'd be just me and I'd be spending $300 damn on myself. So you can imagine how much money it is for someone who has a bunch of children that other mouths to feed besides their own. So I totally get it. And then I just feel like with The View, the clucking hens over there, none of them broads are struggling financially. I doubt they even go to the store and buy their own damn groceries. They probably pay somebody to do the mess. So to me, they all out of touch. And the worst part of it all was Whoopi Goldberg, oh, out of touch ass, had the nerve to get her black ass up on that show and talk about she's working class. If you don't get off my mind with that foolishness, oh, you a worker, but you're not a working class. And you working because you taking care of yourself, your freeloading ass daughter, and all them damn kids. That's what you living off of. That's why you have to work. And I don't understand, if you make $9 million a year, what the hell are you spending your money on? Plus you about to do Annie. So my friend put me on, so he said, look into Sabby Sabs, who basically explains why Roland Martin and all of them is problematic. So he put me on, and I was watching Sabby Sabs. I definitely was like, okay, now she's a fave. I definitely added her. And then also the Bad Faith podcast. I do like Tim Black, because he went in on Whoopi when she was talking about how she working class. I'm like, girl, bye. You out of touch. That's what a lot of you broads are, breaking points, and even asshole Jimmy Dore. That's what he said. So I was like, you know what? Let me look into these people. So one of my friends, DJ Baker, told me that he just followed me. I'm like, damn, how is everybody finding out that I'm on Blue Sky? Was I announced? Well, I did announce it on his show, but I don't be thinking everybody be watching every show that I do sometimes. But yeah, so or maybe I'm popping up in people you may know or something or another. But I did notice like a huge influx of people adding me, which I don't mind. I'm definitely looking. I mean, y'all can definitely add me over there. But yeah, a lot of people follow me because I did put my stuff in there. But anyway, you said pizza for dinner tonight. I wish I was having pizza. I do want to go to I should go to Domino's around the corner and get something. But like I said, I had food delivered, so I'm gonna have that when I get off. But I'm gonna have pizza in a minute. I was thinking about getting some pizza last night when I came from work in the garden. But I didn't. I ended up getting a little snack from 7-Eleven, which I need to stop eating the stuff up in there. They ain't even real food. And they said Dawn Lemon, not Dawn Lemon, is another one. He quit Twitter and went right back on it. No media outfit will hire him. Well, yeah, that's why he over there doing the show that he does. And we'll see if, he makes his point of what he's doing and going to these conferences and getting his name out there and all that stuff. Groceries surprisingly isn't that expensive in Trader Joe's. Well, if I lived in Manhattan, I would go to Trader Joe's, but I don't live in Manhattan, and that's usually where there's a lot of Trader Joe's at. What was the other one that I feel like is way more expensive? Not Trader Joe's. What's the other one? I can't remember. And they said, and all those wine and rich celebrities have nonprofits to offset and take advantage of the tax loophole. Speaking of offset, did y'all hear him getting into a brawl with this French rapper and his entourage? I can always find a story and bring it all around into, something else. Yeah, Whole Foods. I did Whole Foods. I went in to buy, like one time I went in to buy like 3 things. And I'm like, y'all cannot be serious with this damn price. But I did like Trader Joe's. I remember when I would go in Trader Joe's, first of all, Trader Joe's feel like I'm on a farm whenever I go in there, the way the decor is. And then, yeah, their food isn't expensive. Because I remember there was a part where a friend of mine worked in there. And I don't know, we went in to visit him. We filled out an application, but the people there was acting stink. So I'm like, I'm kind of glad I never got to work in a supermarket. But this is like years ago. Okay, so now let's talk about Jaleel White, who basically is open up about turning down working on a Family Matters reboot. Because, there was a success of, growing up, I'm sure there's a lot of y'all in here that probably watched TGIF. TGIF was definitely like comfort food, especially for a lot of people like myself when I was a kid growing up. And I definitely loved watching, Family Matters and things of that nature. It was like Full House, Family Matters, Boy Meets World, Hang on Mr. Cooper, Step by Step. Those are my shows when I was a kid growing up. And so, after the success of Fuller House, which was a spinoff of Full House, where you brought back it was DJ, Stephanie, Kimmy Gibbler, and they all had kids and stuff. And we would see like how they were living their life. And then you had, some of the other people, Uncle Jesse, Joey, Bob Sagetman, he rest in peace. They all popped up every now and again. The only ones you couldn't get back on the show was the Olsen twins because they had moved on. But Jaleel White is opening up about a Family Matters reboot that they were trying to put out there. But he said he wasn't trying to do that. Now, in a promotional video for his memoir, Growing Up Urkel, the 47-year-old detailed why he turned down a Netflix reboot pitch back in 2013 or 2014 on the heels of Full House's reboot having success. Now, we do have that clip, and so let's take a gander over to the YouTube. We're going to play the clip, and then we'll come back and we'll talk.
Somewhere around 2013, 2014, I was approached by one of our former producers that Netflix had interest in doing a reboot of Family Matters on the heels of Fuller House having done so well. And that didn't make any sense to me. I didn't feel that it was right for us to have to copy what Full House had done to fit inside someone's business model to capture the magic that made our show make sense. What I imagine for any reboot effort would be inspired by what really happened. How Family Matters came to pass is actually a greater story than what was made up inside the show. Going onto a show that was never intended for me to be the star of, making it last for 9 years, growing up on a studio lot and in public school at the same time, that to me was the greater story that needed to be told for today. When I pitched that to one of my former executive producers, all he had to say to me was, Jaleel, nobody's interested in your memoirs. But here we are 12 years later, and I think there's some people that might be interested in those memoirs.
Well, and then on that part, he is absolutely right. Is the fact that we are in an era right now where people are more or less interested not only in memoirs of what happened behind the scenes, because I feel like we're in a nostalgic age. Like, I feel like because this is my generation, like I grew up as a kid from the 80s and 90s, we are in this whole nostalgia mode, whether it's music and whether it's in a lot of our TV shows. And we do see these reboots happening where it's just like, let's see what's going on with people 20 years later or that sort of thing. And sort of like, yeah, so we're reading the books or listening to them. If you're not someone who's a big reader, you do the audibles. And then you do a reboot. But here's the thing. Looking on this, I don't see how they could make Family Matters work in the same way that they did Fuller House. I just can't imagine it. Number one, it's like, Urkel's in his 40s. Who would he be? Would he be married to Laura at this point? Because I know he was with old girl. What's her name? Michelle Thomas. Remember her? When it was like they had the three-way with him and the love triangle that they had around Myra Monkhouse. Remember her? Michelle Thomas. That was her name. She passed away in 1998. And then, there was that whole situation. There was a love triangle between Urkel, Myra, and Laura. To me, I feel like y'all too old for the damn love triangle thing. I would have been like, okay, so now Laura and Urkel got married. They have kids. How do y'all make that work? We still can't have Steve Urkel out here with the pants all the way up to his damn neck and doing the same hijinks. That would not work today. And then, like you said before, remember when Family Matters first came out, it was supposed to be just the family, and then Urkel would just come in every now and again and do his little thing, and then he would leave. I think it was only supposed to be on for one episode. But he was such a huge hit on the show, they decided to write the entire show around Urkel. And I know it pissed a lot of people off, including Jo Marie Payton, who was very vocal in many interviews over the years in regards to that, on how she and how she felt about the whole situation, or how they're these theater actors, and there's someone who's been very much trained, and here this little kid come along. But here's the thing, the way the theater world works is not the same as how television works. TV is all about ratings. TV is all about how they can keep those butts in those seats of people tune in every week. That's what they lived and died by. So the way y'all was working it out in the theater world and all these other worlds that you was working in, that's not the same with television. So I understand you could be mad about this little boy coming in and basically making them, writing this show around them. It's not his fault that he basically got everybody excited about this show and brought something in, because Family Matters was corny in the beginning. No shade. When I watch back on a lot of the episodes now as an adult, the beginning episode, the first season was hard to get through, and it was corny. It was like white people sitting here writing these jokes. That's the way it felt. And then, now we have him coming in, and then it just became this different thing. And I noticed since the success of Urkel, then other shows started following the formula, which was they were looking for their Urkel for their show. And we got that with Salsa Mitchell over there with Step by Step. Step by Step was another show that was struggling in the beginning. And it was really working with the whole blended family because that's what their show was about. And then Cody comes in the picture with the airhead, yeah, dude, sort of thing. And then the Bill and Ted isms that he brought in. And it worked. Until that whole allegations about him beating on his wife came out. Then they fired him, which we come to find out was a bunch of BS. But by then it was too late. So I'm not mad at Jaleel White for turning it down because I'm sitting there like, to me, it's like, how would a Family Matters type of show work today? I don't think it would work in the same way as they think. But I do think what will work for Family Matters is the fact that, yes, you have Steve Urkel Steve Urkel. You have Jaleel with his memoir, spilling a lot of behind-the-scenes tea of what went on the show and what it was like being a child actor and working on a lot, and basically how that navigating through that world, of course, and also living your life as a kid growing up in this spotlight. What was that world like, especially in the 90s? And I also think maybe they need to do a podcast like, a watch party podcast. You know how they do Pod Meets World and all these other shows where people sit down and they rewatch a lot of the old shows that they were on and talk about a lot of stuff that went on behind the scenes. I would love to see them all sit down and have that conversation. I would love to see Jaleel up in there, Kelly Shaneen Williams, who played Laura Winslow. I would also love to see Darius McCrary get up there and do something as well. Maybe you could bring other people in. You could bring in Thelma Hopkins. She's still alive. You could probably bring in Joe Marie and then y'all could talk. You could also bring in Reginald Bell Johnson, who just had a resurgence with his career of sorts, with being on Dancing with the Stars. So I could definitely see them doing that. I'm just a couple of ideas, but I would definitely be curious to hear more of what I could expect in regards of Jaleel's memoir before I even think about getting out there and buying a copy of the book and wanting to read it. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Are y'all bummed that we didn't get a Family Matters reboot? Sometimes, it's no shade, but I prefer like some of my stuff being left alone. Like something is a classic, let it be a classic. Everything don't need a sequel. Everything don't need a reboot. Everything old doesn't need to be touched. Like take the time to really develop some stuff and give us something new. I understand the nostalgic factor, but everything don't need a reboot. And Fuller House was cute or whatever, but it didn't stick the landing for me. It wasn't for me. Sabrina Carpenter was on that show, right? But anyway, on Fuller House is what I'm asking. So anyway, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Oh, okay. So, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I totally forgot that it was like, yeah, the Connors. The Connors, they had a spinoff of Roseanne, which I loved Roseanne growing up as a kid, watching those shows. And there was a lot of controversial moments that they had on there where they showed like a gay kiss. Like that was controversial when she got kissed. What was it, by Sandra Bernhard? So there was a lot of moments and stuff where she broke ground before she went crazy and started becoming a Trump supporter and a radicalist and all that other mess. So, and then, what was it? So yeah, the Connors, even though they fired Roseanne for being a nut job, the show lasted for as long as it did. Now, was the show funny? No, it wasn't, but the show was what it was. And I feel like, from what I've heard, is they're going into their final season, or they are in their final season. So, did they? Because I heard that they were saying that there was rumors that they were going strong. And I wonder if they broke up. Hold on, let me look that up. Megan Good. Yeah, they said they're still together despite breakup rumors. Because I remember reading that earlier. But hold on, let me go to the Hot 97 one because that's the most recent one. It's okay, so they said a rep for Megan addressed the breakup rumors. The speculation of the relationship status reportedly started after an interview on the Ricky Smiley show. The speculation, however, was just a rumor. They are not broken up. In fact, they will be attending the Ebony 100 Gala together. So they are together. That's why I was like, I heard that they were. And look, this ain't the time to be breaking up, Chet, because What's that show that she's on? Harlem. That's about to come back next month, season 3. And I'm actually looking forward to it because I like that show. Anyway, so yeah, so they're very much together. Wait, hold on, let me see what happened because it done brought me down to the thing. Oh, you said yeah, the girl that played Myra died before the end of the show. Yeah, I remember that. Oh, excuse me. Yes, I remember Maya Campbell. Remember from In the House? I used to love that show too. And shout out to RuPaul because I remember he used to spill tea about him and LL Cool J on the set, how LL was being a twat towards him, probably because RuPaul probably clocked a bit of LL, if you know what I'm saying. And I think, yeah, how you doing? Oh yeah, I remember that she was not getting pimped out by LA gangbangers, child. And they said, well, that Jamie Foxx for the other door. Yeah, they just need to bring that up too. Like, what's going on with her? And we all know where she ended up after she went up them stairs and never came back. You know, laying low and spreading it wide on film. Major's career is over, so Megan Good bailed on him. I felt she would. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that he's supposed to be, that he is going to be doing a couple of little movies or whatever. So, and that bodybuilder movie is supposed to be coming out. I think it's that the studio that was behind The Apprentice has picked it up. No, because Sonny is getting my root canal. Yeah, I can't with her. And you know what? Shout out to my mother because you know she be good on the instinct. My mother she does not like Sonny Hostin at all. I remember when we be having conversations, she be telling me I can't stand her. And I be like, why? What's wrong with Sonny? I be like, but then I realized she a classist. She be acting like her shit don't stink. And she be having like this high and mighty behavior attitude about her. And then the way she be treating her husband, Manny, the way she be talking, I'm like, I'm surprised he ain't leave her ass yet. The way she be talking about him. Especially with all that jealousy. But I said, okay, your half Puerto Rican side is definitely coming out in this. And then another one, and speaking of which, a lot of people say that they feel like she's only Puerto Rican when it's convenient. So yeah, we got to worry about it. They still together. They said watch Thought Crimes too. They're really good. What's Thought Crimes? Yes, I was about to say, sis, you spelled there wrong, but now you spelled it correct. Mariel Hemingway was, okay. I was like, Mariel Hemingway was the one who kissed Roseanne, and Morgan Fairchild played Sandra character's girlfriend. Well, thank you for the clarification. Okay, so now let's get into this RuPaul's Drag Race story. Since we've been talking about RuPaul, because Miss Lala Ree has announced that she has quit drag. There seems to be a lot of people out here that is quitting drag. Also, La Grande Dame quit drag too. So there's a lot of girls out here that's quitting drag. But shout out to Lala Ree, who, sidebar, I am living for this outfit. There's another one that I saw too, but I want to leave it up for a second before we move on. So the La La Ree experience is here to stay, even if the musician, entertainer, and former drag queen behind the curtain is quitting the art form that helped launch it to international fame. This is shout out to Entertainment Weekly for this story, by the way. So RuPaul's Drag Race Season 13 and All-Stars 8 contestant Lala Ree exclusively reveals to Entertainment Weekly that yes, Lala's correct pronouns are he, him, child. Here we go. Because, you know, people already getting irritated by this whole, oh yeah, y'all go with the pronouns thing. Whatever, let's just go on with it. So they said is double performing as a drag queen. Now, outside of a few upcoming gigs that were previously booked, Lala is hanging up the wig that made him a global star in the queer community on 2 seasons of Drag Race, including taking the Miss Congeniality title and becoming queen of the Fame Games on his All-Star run. I forgot that Lala Ree was on All-Stars. Now, with his drag accomplishments behind him, Lala said that he no longer feels attached to the glamour and corsetry of the main stage, and that he's very much looking forward to reestablishing himself in a new spotlight as he hopes to carve out a new path for himself as a singer, performer, and fashion-forward entertainer. And I think that's actually good with this whole thing because I'm like, wait a minute. So he don't want to be like all you other drag race girls, and there's no shade y'all, but I'm just saying it. He doesn't want to just rely on the fact that, yeah, I'm a drag queen and I got to be in drag whenever I perform my songs like a lot of drag race girls do. He's like, I did the drag race and yeah, it was cute for what it was at the time, but I am a talent. I'm a singer. I could use in so many ways as a performer. You can drag yourself up in other ways. Not necessarily you got to tuck your meat in between your legs and you got to put on a gown and a wig, but you can also, there's other ways of you can highlight your fashion sense and as well as your talent as a singer. So now they said that one interview said, I noticed something was up when you began posting photos of yourself out of drag. Then on Instagram you slipped in a caption that read, I'm saying that I may be leaving the drag behind, but trust me, the La La Ree experience is still very much alive and serving. So they said the bag look finally got you enough that you're quitting drag. He said, I can't take it anymore, solely due to the bag look. Thanks, bag look, you won. Now, in all seriousness, you fully quitting drag? And it said, yes, how can I put this? I'm removing myself from the drag character. I'm basically removing the drag essence. I feel like drag places us in a box as artists and entertainers. And sometimes in drag, you're limited to what you can do artistically. I like to be considered a queer artist more than just a drag queen. I still plan to entertain, still do music, still do all the things I did when I was in drag, just without the drag. So he said that basically he's going to perform as an artist, but he doesn't want to do drag as a way to show his artistic side. And I'm here for it. He also says that what inspired the choice. Now, he said the following. He said, it's something I've wanted to do for a few years. I never intended to have a full-fledged drag career. I was pushed into doing drag. I never wanted to do drag for myself. I was already in the entertainment industry as a dancer and choreographer. I was doing music before drag. Drag was just a different outlet for me to perform. It blew up. I got on Drag Race, and it took off from there. It was like, I guess I've got to stick with this for a while. Even doing All Stars, I wanted to be there, obviously, because the opportunity and platform is amazing, but I didn't want to be there doing drag. I was going through a depression stage at the time about doing drag. That's how deep it was for me. I wanted to be on TV entertaining, and I loved the moments I was out of drag, but the moments I was in drag, I was over it completely. I didn't show it. It was going on for years. Now that I've accomplished everything I wanted to drag-wise, if there's no passion there and there's no love for it, why continue to do something I don't want to do for myself? I feel like I was doing drag for everybody else. I wasn't doing it for me. So with that being said, I totally get everything that Miss La La Ree is saying in regards to her performance. And I'm like, yeah, get up there in your little your leather leotard, or is it pleather? And you get up there and you perform your little song and fierceness. Like, to me, you giving Kevin Alliance and this whole ensemble, because Kevin will get up there, untucked, put a little makeup on the face, bald head, and, perform the house down boots. And I find nothing wrong with that. And I feel like, you know what, in a lot of ways, if the passion isn't there and you don't feel it within your wherewithal to perform, where you feel like, you know what, I was doing all these other artistic things in so many ways. And to me, it wasn't fulfilling me creatively. So I'm only sticking with the drag because the drag basically helped me get where I was. Like, that was the thing that took off. So now I'm gonna just keep doing it until the passion isn't there anymore, and then I'm gonna just move on to bigger and better things. And that's what he's pretty much doing right now. So I don't know. So then they also went in and talked about this whole thing about his depression. He said it was more of an internal thing when he was on All Stars. I felt like I was getting lost behind the drag. Everyone was so focused on the outrageous comedy aspect of it, but I take art very seriously. Sometimes I feel like people don't take drag queens seriously as artists because it's dress up for them. Well, here's the thing. I think that's also because that is the image that RuPaul wants to put out there. Oh, drag is not to be taken seriously. It's just, we're just playing, in so many ways, like we're clowns, we're court jesters, we're just doing all of that stuff rather than it is about artistic expression. That's why I love shows like Dragula, because it shows off this alternative expression of art and creativity when it comes to the girls who do drag. Whereas Drag Race is just, oh yeah, we just, it's just a little fun thing that we doing. It's nothing like that we should be taking seriously and all this other stuff. But I have to say, if you go over to La La Ree's Instagram, bitch, she is turning out with the fashions. Like, I'm loving a lot of these male looks with all of this. And also, just to wrap it up, he did say he was asked, how do you want people to view you now as an artist? And he said, I want them to see that I'm still an entertainer, more so focused on my music. I never really pushed my music because I didn't want to be considered a drag queen music artist. Once I remove the drag, I want people to focus on my music, and I want to make the music that I want to make. I felt like I was making music to satisfy the drag community. Now I'm making music that will satisfy more than just the drag community and talk about the things I want to talk about as an artist. I'm getting into acting. I can't talk about much about it, but I did get the chance to film something out of drag, which I'm excited about, and more fashion stuff. As you can see, I've been posting on social media. I enjoy my boy vibe way more than my drag vibe. And this is a rare thing, because I have to say, because we don't really hear this coming from a lot of the drag queens. And it's like, yeah, no shade, but I feel like a lot of times when I said this, like, why don't we have a drag equivalent of a Madonna or a Kylie Minogue? I feel like a lot of times when you drag queens start doing music, it feels campy, it feels empty. It doesn't feel like there's any substance to the music. Now, don't get me wrong, I live for Adore, because Adore does give you substance with her music. But it does feel like it borderlines a lot on this cheesy, campy-esque vibe when you do drag. I feel like if you want to be a drag artist, you can be a drag artist, but take the music seriously. And I feel like Lala Ree probably in her mind couldn't see that you can make serious music as a drag artist, because it feels very nichey when you're making that type of music, especially as a drag performer. So I'm mad at the fact that she's like, you know what? Drag did what it did for me at the time, but creatively it wasn't fulfilling. And now I'm ready to just let people see me, the artist, in my male form. And I want to be a queer artist, but I want to talk about some stuff, some substantial stuff, and not be just like doing silly camping, stuff for the sake of that. So I said all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Whatever your thoughts are regarding Lala Ree quitting drag to take more of an approach, a more serious approach to her music. Let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so now let me close this situation. I was like, wait, what happened? Oh, I thought I lost one of my articles. Okay, so now let's go to the comments. I like Lala Ree as an artist. No, you spelled it right, Muriel. I think it was Muriel Hemingway, Muriel. I think that's how you spell her name. Did you hear the state took Dame Dash Rockefeller shares to satisfy his tax? I think I did hear something about it, but that's a cackle to me that you out here broke than a joke, but you still out here being mean, being mad about Jay-Z. Lala gave me future All-Stars versus the World Winner tease. I hope he can still find his way onto being on the show. I don't even think, the way he's talking, I just think he's just done. I don't think he was happy doing Drag Race. I think it was cute or whatever at the first time he did it, but I feel like with All Stars it felt maybe more he did it out of obligation, but he doesn't seem like he was creatively fulfilled when he was doing it based off of what he's saying in the interview. So wishful thinking, but I don't think it'll happen. I think he's done it. I agree. Jaleel doesn't need a reboot. I don't feel like they need, and I know people are probably, the people that probably want to do the reboot, like all the other Family Matters actors who haven't acted since, Family Matters went off the air. But I think they're all doing those things here and there. Darius McCrary acts every now and again and stuff. Kelly Shadeen does stuff. Joe Marie Payton is out here still doing stuff. But to get back in doing Family Matters, I could definitely see that they would probably want to get back into doing that. But for the most part, I guess because Jaleel White's not doing it, he became the big star. I think at that point, maybe there is some sour grapes that they want to do. But I agree. If there's no story there, if there's no reason to reboot Family Matters, if I can't come up with a good, decent story based off the characters, it's not going to work. Sailor Mermaid says they need to allow these shows / movie to end. Not every franchise needs a reboot, especially when some don't understand what made the show movie we love work. Exactly, because a lot of times they'll reboot stuff and it just be whack. I'm like, why are y'all remaking this? Nina Bonino, Fofina, Banana Nana, Fofina. My favorite queen did say he and Lala filmed for some HBO show in Atlanta as extras out of drag. It was scrapped though. I don't remember the show. Well, I hope it wasn't that what Nina revealed, because she got a big mouth. Cleveland says, I'm here. Well, damn, the show's about to be over. Well, we got one more topic. He said in the article that he'll do something out of drag, such as a choreographer, judge, or narrator. Okay, well then that works. If you want to come on Drag Race and just be like, okay, I'm a be a choreographer, and I feel like that could work for the show because I've been saying that what Drag Race needs to do is rely more on a lot of the queens who are alums to have them do things within the realm of Drag Race. Even if Rue don't want to have some of them queens sit up there next to her, the least you could do is bring some of the past people in who have dance choreographer, backgrounds, and have them come in and do stuff with the queens instead of, now don't get me wrong, I love me some Jamal Sims. He could sit on my face, but y'all can bring some of the queens in and have them do stuff similar to how y'all did with Alyssa Edwards. So there's that. But anyway, let's get into our final topic and let's talk about Ms. J.K. Rowling, who, has been very vocal in regards of her transphobic comments. But you do know that we are getting, if y'all didn't know, now you're about to find out. J.K. Rowling, there is a Harry Potter series reboot not a reboot, because it was never a series to begin with. It was always movies. So Harry Potter is getting the series treatment courtesy of HBO. So while they are doing we had each book turned into a movie, what they're doing is they can go deeper into the books because not everything that was in the book made it into the movies. Because you only got like 2 hours, 2.5 hours tops to tell your story. Especially when the theaters, you got to keep those movies on a cycle so that you can keep that money coming in. But when you do a TV show, at least you could take the time to really get into the nooks and crannies of the book and explore a lot of the characters and things that did not make it into the movie, into the series. So there is a series of the works, and each season is going to tackle each book. So I guess, what was it, 7 books? 7 seasons? I know there was 8 movies because they split the last book into 2 parts. So this says, according to Pink News, it says that the contentious views of Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling have not affected the casting process for the new TV adaptation of the series, according to HBO chief executive Casey Bloys. Now, Rowling, who is an EP on the series about the young wizard, has courted controversy in recent years for her views on the trans community, and in particular, gender-affirming care, single-sex spaces, and women's sports. Now, they also said that she engaged in online rows of the issues with the likes of broadcasters India Willoughby and Christine Alsop and actor J.J. Wells. Now, news of the TV series, I'm assuming these are all British folk. Now, news of the TV series, which would not feature the 3 main stars of the original film, that would be Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint, first broke last year, and each season is expected to be based separately on the 7 books and have budget similar to the other HBO shows, and as Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. So they basically said that she's been fairly involved. She was very involved in the process of selecting the writer and the director. This is what Bloys told journalists at HBO 2025 preview presentation in West Hollywood, Los Angeles. I imagine she'll have opinions on casting. It hasn't affected the casting or hiring of writers and production staff or anything, so we haven't felt any impact from that. Now, Bloys, who previously dismissed J.K. Rowling's views as very online conversation, whatever that means, added that the show might premiere in 2027, but instead fans of the wizarding world should not hold me to any of that because we're just getting started with the writing and casting process. He went on to say that the age of the child cast is something executives were considering carefully. Well, they have to because I don't know what age Harry Potter starts at, but you have to realize that kids grow, and you might want to get on that because each season, well, I guess what it would be is like, yeah, each season they're going to get a little older. So you got to take that into consideration. So one of the ideas we talked about was shooting the first season and the second season very close to each other, time-wise, because from 11 to 13 is a big jump in kids' lives. You can get away with 13 to 15, something like that. So we are going to have to think about scheduling and shooting so that they don't grow too much between seasons. It's a consideration. Well, that's why y'all definitely got to get to writing, because y'all can't have a Euphoria type situation where it's like, okay, you give 10 episodes and then y'all taking 3 years between seasons to give us a damn season. Y'all can't be doing that. Y'all may have to do a whole back-to-back situation. I mean, I don't think it's going to require much. If you, of course, all the sets are pretty much going to be them kids based in Hogwarts. So I don't think it'll take a whole lot for y'all to just basically film it all close to each other. It's like, yeah, we film season 1, get that out of the way, take maybe a month or 2 off, and then get them right back in there because we'll have both scripts done. So I do feel like between season 1 and season 2, you pretty much have that done. Then y'all can take time, a couple of months, get season 3 up and ready, and then get those kids back out there and start acting. Because that's what y'all going to have to do, especially when, this show is basically focused around, Harry, Ron, and Hermione. And then all the other kids that takes, and all the people that Draco Malfoy and all of them that are taking a part of this whole series, or are a part of the series. So the first film came out basically 15 years ago. So it was like, it came out in 2001, and Radcliffe was 11, Grant was 12, and Watson was 10. She was the youngest one, but it was the more mature one, I think. And so, yeah, they pretty much match the characters. So I feel like if you're gonna go with a kid who is where Radcliffe is like 11 or was 11 when they started, find somebody who's at least like 9 or 10 where you could still, do what needs to be done. That was the thing I was worrying about with Aang over there on the live action version of Avatar, The Last Airbender. It's like they're supposed to be doing 2 seasons. So the kid that plays him, y'all gotta try to hurry up so he don't age too much in regards of like playing Aang, so that way we can get both those seasons, because I'm sure he's grown a bit since then. But no shade, but I've never really been a big Harry Potter fan. I just know like my younger brother was into Harry Potter, and then my father would listen to the books when he was going to and from work. So I did see all the movies in the theater because my younger brother liked it, and I guess based off of the Wizards and all that other stuff, I watched it for the sake of watching it. I'm definitely thinking about checking out the series when it comes on to see how it is, because everything gets the comparison to Game of Thrones and all the stuff, because it's going to have that whole vibe. Don't get me wrong, I do not care about J.K. Rowling. I don't like that man looking bitch. But the reality is the fact that regardless of whether or not how you feel about her and the trans community, I don't feel like her opinion is going to affect this show when it airs. Because you have the people that grew up with Harry Potter that are going to be nostalgic about it, that are going to want to watch it out of curiosity. And then I'm sure by now, because it's 20 plus 25 years later, by the time it airs, plus their kids are probably going to be interested in watching the show as well. So they're going to be introduced to a new generation of people that are curious about Harry Potter. So I say this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Will y'all be checking out Harry Potter when it comes out eventually? Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so now we have comments, speaking of which. And Sailor Murray says, me and my coworkers who work at HPNY says this is really dumb. That could have made a series about the founders of Hogwarts or the Marauders gang, which Harry's dad was involved. Well, I don't know. I think it's just familiarity that they're interested in getting into. That it's been 25 years almost since the first Harry Potter movie came out. So we keep talking nostalgia and people want remakes and all this other stuff. So it'll be different because you can dive deeper into the books where they couldn't really do that with the other books. And look, they tried introducing different aspects of Harry Potter series before, which was what was the other thing with Eddie Redmayne? None of y'all cared enough to watch it. Y'all didn't care about all the other ones. It did Fantastic Beasts. Nobody cared about Fantastic Beasts in a way where it was just as successful as Harry Potter. So they're gonna go with what's familiar. So we'll see if y'all care enough to watch it. Will it be successful? Probably. I don't think I'll be watching. Okay, so you said we already have the movies, but I don't know. She got involved when doing Fantastic Beasts and they bombed in the box office, especially the third title. Yeah, none of those movies were good in my opinion. Research the BS on what RFK said about HIV and AIDS. I just know RFK Junior Senior and Jackie were actually pissed with that he's ruining it. First of all, I'm surprised that, them worms, them ball worms, didn't eat up enough of his damn brain that they think that he's sensible enough to run a department of health. I feel for the healthcare community right now because they got to deal with this idiot. Yeah, I deal with that horrible ass voice. Yeah, when you talk like that, I'm like, ew, why you sound like that? Probably from the worms eating his brain. But anyway, thank you all for watching. We're at the end of today's show. I also want to thank Driver Seat because you definitely hit me with that super chat. Bitch, I am living right now. If y'all want to add to the collection plate, y'all still can. But anyway, so thank you all for watching. Tune in next time to a brand new episode of Chris Saab Unfiltered, which will probably be on Monday because I am taking the weekend off. I'm going to be busy. I'm working this UFC fight tomorrow. I'm probably going to be busy on Sunday. I have to look at my schedule and see what it is I'm going to be doing. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. Also, smash the notification button in case you haven't already, so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Saab Unfiltered. If you're just tuning now into the show, like Cleveland is, you could definitely rewind this back at the end and watch the show from the beginning. Like I said, again, I'm hungry. I'm gonna go eat me something and catch out a couple of movies and then get ready for this UFC fight, which is probably going to be a load of fun because I've never worked a UFC fight, so this will be my first one. So yeah, love you all for watching. Love you all for tuning in, and love you all for being a subscriber and a supporter of the show. And all that good stuff. Did I see? Oh, Felix did say, he said never saw any of the Harry Potter movies. Yeah, well, I have. Well, I told you I have, and the reason why I have. But anyway, love you all for watching. And until next time, ciao, darlings.